again. Again. Once again.
Missing someone, love with all your heart. Missing someone, love with heart. How much you miss it, and you miss it. From the start, and you did right from the start. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart. Missing someone. I am sad and so low. I am sad and so low. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a tall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up in boom 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 boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom and hoping we meet again. Oh, life ain't a ding dong. A-lang, a-lang, a-lang. Boom, ba-do, 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 ba-do. Ain't a ding dong. A-lang, a-lang, a-lang. Boom, ba-do, 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 ba-do. Oh, life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up in boom, 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 tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Now every time I look at you, something is on my mind. If you do what I want you to, baby, we'd be so fine. Oh, life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up in boom 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 boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. Ain't a ding dong. Plans would come true. Ain't a ding dong. And my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.
from, but right now here's the kind I prefer. Okay.
Faithful and brave.
Okay.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Upsurge Minor League week number 2. Today we've got White Lotus up versus Omega and Neuroshock Gaming. I'll be your play-by-play for today, Justin Fairchild, and with me I have Shane Seal Erickson. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I am doing good. Ready to get this one going. Quick side note, ONG or Omega Neuroshock Gaming has lost 3 of their bans due to an illegal sub, so we'll be working out of that a 3-ban advantage going over to White Lotus.
Yeah, White Lotus getting the extra help them out in the early draft. You're going to be able to take away some picks that Omega is not going to be able to take away those picks from White Lotus.
Yeah, so far we have that Akali ban, the Hecarim ban as well for the side of White Lotus, taking away some of those very strong champions we've been seeing recently, and especially in that Akali, she's seen nerf after nerf, but even then it doesn't matter. She's still so strong, so on top of the meta. You get that Hex Tech Gunblade, you have so much sustain in the lane, and honestly, it's just really annoying to play against.
Yeah, 100% agree on that. And you say the other 2 bans as well, the Hecarim and the Aatrox, both receiving fair amount of nerfs in recent patches, but still near the top of that tier on the meta. So yeah, White Lotus heavily prioritizing the bans, and nothing really that Omega can do against it because they can't ban out on their own. So White Lotus is going to get first pick without having any banned against them.
No bans. That allows for a lot of priority picks, and we're gonna have to see what they opt for. It's gonna be Freshburger picking that up for them, and I'm gonna expect something either in that jungle or in that AD carry position. Kai'Sa is still a very strong AD. We've been seeing a lot recently, but it will be Sivir this time around.
Yeah, Sivir has really jumped up in priority ever since the Rageblade nerfs came with this most recent patch. Kai'Sa did get brought down a little bit. Kai'Sa has seen a bit of a with the Manam build, but Sivir is still sitting at the top of that AD carry pool, I think. So much utility in fights with that on the well as the Ricochet does so much damage in game fights. Jason Sejuani with the answer from Neuroshock.
Yeah, picking up that jungle and top spot. Of course, can flex it towards that mid lane, but I kind of doubt it. But we'll have to see what the side of White Lotus does want to do to react to that. And it's going to be the Jarvan hover here. I really like that counter pick. It goes just about even, if not a little bit of an advantage in the jungle. And looking back at say late game or a little bit later game, you pop that on the hunt with the Sivir, and Jarvan is able to kind of just run at your AD carry. If he doesn't have any escapes, throw up that Cataclysm, that flag and drag, and you're able to secure that kill. Yeah,
exactly. And Jarvan having much more access to those early game ganks. Sejuani's more gated by that level, his access to the ultimate, but J4, all he needs is flag and drag to the level 2 and really heavily impact ganks. So looking to see Kairos really look to gank the early game then behind the link of Omega. But
yeah, and Omega Neuroshock actually going to opt for that Jace and Kennen pick, so they'll be able to fix that both between mid and top lane. We'll have to see where they're going to opt to go with that. They will have these final 2 bans. I'm going to take away Aurelia for that one, and that's probably going to be a Kennen up in the top side and Jace down middle lane, or at least I'd assume Kai'Sa getting banned away, and the rest of White Lotus going to take away some extra AD carries and try and put a hindrance to that pull a little bit.
Yeah, for the side of Omega Neuroshock right now, they haven't picked their entire bot lanes, but we're going to maybe a support ban back out from White Lotus, but they already did ban out the Kai'Sa, who we just talked about with the Management build, still fairly strong. So I wouldn't be surprised another AD carry ban. Well,
most likely going to see another ADC, and it will be the Ezreal taking away a lot of that safetiness, a lot of that huge safety net that Ezreal has with his E, and then of course comes up with Flash and just how long range he is as an AD carry, and especially that build that's kind of been spiking out. Ezreal, it's kind of always been a mid-tier ADC, but he's slowly getting up and up, picking up that tier, running the teleport, and you're able to have a lot of cross-map pressure. The Varus, though, going to get locked in here for Omega, and that's going to allow for a lot of engage potential here for Omega. They have the Varus ultimate, they have the Kennen, the Sejuani. There is so much potential for this team to just go all in.
Oh yeah, Omega definitely has the fight comp here. Varus, one of the best team fighting your items. That can be able to do that AoE damage by so much auto attack damage coming in. Having the Sejuani there to frontline that much easier for Varus to injure fights, but Janna coming in to protect the Sivir, lots of safety coming in there. I really like that pick coming White Loaded.
going to be hovering over that Lysandra there as well to see if they want to pick that up. And, if they do go for that, they have a very, very heavy split push composition. You have the Rise, you put them into a side lane. The Sivir is going to be there for that wave clear, and the Lysandra for the anti-dive as well, and of course with the Janna too. So this is such a heavy split push composition for White Lotus. It feels like they're putting all their eggs right into that Rise basket.
Yeah, lots of magic damage coming in from the low lane to White Lotus. So wouldn't be surprised tank here, but it's going to be the Morgana. That spell shield is going so heavily prioritized against that Rise Prison, Lysandra, Glacial Prison. So much utility coming out from the Morgana pick. Great counter picks. That's why Lotus comp.
Yep. Loading on down here. Both teams have picked up their full compositions and of course going to rotate those champions around. Looks like we will have that Kennen up in the top lane and the Jace in the middle lane, flexing those two. Lysandra in that mid lane and Rise up top side as well. Of course, Rise has that decent matchup up versus Kennen. We'll have to see how he fares against that matchup. Looking over at the rest of the map, let's start off with that top side and talk a little bit about this matchup. How is this Rise versus Kennen matchup going to work?
So this Kennen, don't know whether it's going to be that AP build or the AP on build yet. The on-hit build is a bit more stronger in the early lane, whereas AP build is much stronger for the fight. So it's really going to depend on whether Whiplash decides to go with the AP or the AP build here.
Moving down into that jungle as we do get into the spectator delay here. We have that Jarvan up versus the Sejuani, both not too hyper carry, just more kind of just sit back, relax, and play for that late mid game and work with that level 6 advantage you have. You have the Cataclysm on the side of Jarvan. On the side of Sejuani, you have her ultimate as well. Being able to get those long range engages and lock someone up is so important. But you go ahead, you look at both of these supports that are for both these teams, both White Lotus and Omega. There's the Janna, there's the Morgana. That is so much extra peel potential.
Yeah, actually, I really want to see Sejuani perhaps gank towards the bottom. It's almost set up from Varus and Morgana once those levels come in. That CC is going to help the gank so much for this. Like I said, Sejuani can target that lane. Sivir behind, it'll really set her behind and Varus ahead during fights. Because once Sivir gets ahead, those like 8 fights are going to be nearly impossible for the side of Omega Neuroshock.
Yeah, and once Sivir, gets those ricochets going, hits that 3-item power spike. But Sivir is just so well known. Kind of not necessarily useless as a champion before that 3 items, more of a wave clear bot until that point. But once you hit that point, you start to output so much damage. And you look at this team composition out of Omega, it's not the tankiest thing we could have seen. Only Sejuani is their true tank. So Sivir's going to be able to shred through this backline. And once she hits those ricochets, she's going to start to pop off.
Yeah, especially with the added safety of the spell shield. If she can look to spell shield either the Chains of Corruption coming in from Varus or the Arctic Assault coming in from Sejuani, she's going to be able to dodge this, dodge some Dark Binding perhaps, and that's going to allow her to have more access to put out damage in the fight. So really looking how Tokyo can look to shut down the engage coming in Mega Neuroshock here.
And before we do go to a quick intermission, huge shout out to Kono, one of our big sponsors from keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more. Our friends at Kono have got you covered. Kono works with the world's best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of the best gaming peripherals around. They're known to be our huge supporters here at Upsurge and have made more than generous contributions to our prize pools. If you're looking for a new keyboard for your setup, we couldn't recommend anyone better than Kono. For more information, head over to their website. That's kono.store.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's going to be Upsurge Week 2. We've got White Lotus up versus Omega Neuroshock Gaming. Once again, I'll be your play-by-play, Justin Katz Fairchild, and I have the one and only Seal with me. Let's get into this game. You know, after a little bit of delays, we're finally into this one. Week number 2.
Yeah, really excited to see what we got going. One thing I want to note is that the cannon did go for the Airy in that zone, so it will likely be that AP cannon. Not going to be as strong during lane phase, not going to be that big split push threat, but going to be huge in fights if you can get a really good flank onto the back line of White Lotus.
Yeah, looking for one of those big flanks. You know, they are running the double teleport, but as is White Lotus. Looking for, you know, kind of that split push pressure we see, you know, with that Rise pick, with that Lysandra there. They've got so much wave clear and so much anti-dive potential on the side of White Lotus. You know, you kind of expect Jarvan to kind of sit top and kind of baby rides through that early levels and try to get him to that split pushing monster he can be.
The right Jarvan can look to yank that cannon in the early game. Freshburger is going to be in such a good spot during that laning phase. He's already going to be doing pretty well, just by itself, but depending on how the
both junglers working towards that bottom side, or rather starting bottom side. And, you know, nothing too special out of the early game here from either side. Both did start out with that 5-point. Only ward actually got dropped was on that Raptor camp in the middle one, or in the middle lane, excuse me. And of course, Sivir with that inherent wave push, but I don't know if she's going to hit level 2 because that is a Varus Morgana you're up against.
Sivir usually opting for that early wave clear has the Boomerang Blade at the level 1, so likely to see a bit of a push going on that lane. Varus can't really match the early wave clear as much from the Sivir.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about going Q level 1 over W on Sivir is that mana cost. The mana cost, I believe, is 80 level 1 for that Boomerang Blade, and the Ricochet is at about 50. So that's 40 extra mana you're spending per one. And also that damage you're getting out of the Ricochet is, I'd say it's just about even, rather, to that Boomerang Blade.
Yeah, with the Ricochet, it's really if you can get that auto attack reset, that's where the damage comes through in the early game. It's not really about the big risk ricocheting through the team until you hit that 2 or 3 level item spike, rather. But in the early game, it's going to be that Q as your main source of the damage on the Sivir. So she's going to be looking to hit those without hitting the minions, so it doesn't reduce any of the damage. And that's really where we're going to see the Sivir try to look to deal the big damage.
Yeah, and you can see Flame Bros as well, trying to poke that Morgana out, and as well as Varus. And they're getting shoved in a bit. Tokyo completely out of mana as well. Poppy taking a little bit of extra damage back, of course, from Flame Bros. He does have that Zephyr to put a bit of extra damage down, opting for that Airy, not the Comet, so not too much extra damage.
Yeah, and both the junglers almost meeting topside around that Scuttle Crab right there. It is going to be, you know, jumped on by the Dwani, but Jarvan right around there looking to maybe smite it.
Yeah, who's going to win the smite fight? It's going to be Sejuani. Gets a little bit of extra heal, and actually heading on to Karios. He doesn't have that flag and drag. The flash is available. Look at the Q and E out of Evil Dragfall. He's going to secure first blood.
Great roam coming in there from Evil Dragfall on the Jace. Knows that he can push lane early against the Lysandra. She did receive some nerfs to that Q, doesn't have that same early game wave clear. So Evil Dragfall gets the lane priority and is able to pick up that kill with the power shock blast. Great play coming in from him.
And looking top now, gonna chunk out Freshburger just a little bit, but not nearly enough to push him out of lane. Does have that teleport. He's gonna want that tier back. Don't know if he has enough gold for that just yet. But that does give double buffs over to Jace as well.
Yeah, and Jace, usually such a lane dominant champ. We usually see him in the top lane, and I'm pretty sure every single top lane main knows that Jace is the least fun champion to play against in that lane, especially if you can get ahead. So getting double buffs on Jace in the early game is going to be pretty terrifying for the side of Neebs on the Lysandra. So really looking to see what Jace can do with these new double buffs he just picked up.
Yeah. And, you know, being able to do something. Hold up, there's a flash. Jiggly's on the way. Whiplash there as well. Not able to count the flash. Freshburger able to escape from that one as Sejuani. That's just not the flash you needed.
Yeah, good flash coming from Freshburger. Sejuani just barely missing out on the CC there, but Whiplash tried to go for the play at the early setup. But yeah, again, great flash coming from Freshburger to avoid the gank.
And Karios getting spotted out at that in the jungle once again in the river. And shoved out once again, not able. Actually, he rather is able to hit that Scuttle Crab. Not going to opt to try and solo that dragon early, as both middle lane and bottom lane priority is over to the side of Omega.
Yeah, and earlier I was talking about how usually the AP cannon is a bit weaker, but right now he's sitting on a nice little 9 CS lead. There has been a bit of jungle tension in the top lane, but that's pretty nice for him right there.
And that jungle tension, of course, helps out a lot. Huge wave coming into the Rise as well, though, up in the top side. And he was able to back and pick up that tier, which is a huge advantage for him. 5 minutes into the game, he can get started stacking.
Yeah, once the Rise really starts to stack up that tier, get towards that Archangel Staff, that's when he's going to hit his big power spikes. He needs his scaling items to come in. I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to also go for perhaps a Rod of Ages here, just to go for the even extra scaling. And once he gets both those items fully stacked, there's not really going to be someone who can match him in a 1v1 in the side lane.
Tokyo running pretty low on mana down here in the bottom lane. He does have that spell shield, though, to give him some extra mana. Actually hasn't used it once that we have seen so far. But using spell shield on Sivir is actually a very big utility, especially when you're running low on mana. And especially in the early game, you don't actually use it too much to necessarily avoid abilities. I mean, you do, but use it a lot for that mana regen because you are such a mana hungry champion built into that boomerang. And with that, you just need to be able to use those spell shield on those innate abilities. I think he's a little bit scared though that, you know, Eat Me is gonna walk up and look for another engage onto him, but nothing just yet. You know, they'll reset, get those items, and Bilgewater Cutlass over for Habati, and I'm gonna assume a BF sword and something else for Tokyo.
Yep, you call that BF sword and 3 health bots side of Tokyo. But again, talking about the Sivir and the spell shield in the early game, usually you would try to use it on just like any ability to get some extra mana when you're trying to push, but Tokyo not really wanting to use it because of the potential of the Dark Binding coming in. Doesn't want to have to use it on another ability, doesn't want to get fully engaged upon by getting hit by the Dark Binding. So kind of just playing a bit safe in the early game. Probably the right call here.
And that's the smart thing as well from Eat Me. He's able to just hold on to it and actually not use it. That forces Tokyo to be a little bit more careful. You know, when you know that that Dark Binding is down, you're able to walk up, play a little bit more aggressive, and especially if you miss it, of course. But, you know, so far, I don't think I've actually seen him throw more than one, and it's been successful for them so far this lane, a 16 CS lead.
Yeah, Varus, actually a pretty lane dominant pick, especially with the Morgana, that added peel coming from that shield rather, is going to give Varus even more safety in the lane. It's going to allow him to re-hit a lot more easily. He's not going to have to worry about getting knocked up by the Janna tornado. So lots more added safety for him because of that shield coming from Morgana.
Yep, level 6 now for the Varus. He does have that chain of corruption. So big engage potential for him if that Janna does walk up a little bit too far. You really can't use it onto the Sivir too effectively with that spell shield unless you're looking for a nice flashy play.
Sejuani is looking to gank top right now. She has access to the ultimate as well.
Ultimate is available. It's going to come out. The stun does connect. So does the ultimate from Whiplash. Freshburger, you've got nowhere to go. He goes down. And that's the second kill over to Omega.
Great play coming from J Galaxy right there. Knowing that Freshburger did not have flash because of the earlier gank, as soon as he hit the level 6, looks to punish that summoner spell being down and just hits the ability, and that's all he needed to do to pick up the kill.
Indeed, and back in the mid lane, Neeb's just getting shoved in over and over so far. Up about 10 CS, Evil Dragful is, and he might even be able to dive him. Root is there. Not looking for that dive just yet, a little bit worried about where the Jarvan may be, and smart play by him as, of course, Kyrgios is working his way towards the mid lane.
Yeah, as Lissandra in this matchup, you see he already had to go for that Seeker's Armor Guard for the early armor in the game, and he's very low on mana because he lost chapter. So he's going to be getting shoved in a lot. He's going to have to farm under his turret, and as Lissandra, that's not very easy.
Oh, big fight here in the bottom lane. Ultimate gonna get blown, but the E is there as well. Flame Throw is gonna be the first one to go down on the run, but he's able to escape. Even without the chain of corruption, as long as Eat Me Hardy is able to connect with the Dark Binding, the side of Omega's bottom lane can follow up.
Yeah, everyone knows about how long those Dark Bindings last in Morgana. So many jokes about it lasting the entire game. For Flame Rose, he got hit by it, and there was nothing he could do to get out. Even with mating the Monsoon, he still ended up going down.
And that allows for the side of Omega to work down with that bottom and mid lane priority, secure this first Ocean Dragon of the game about 10 minutes in, and continue to push their lead a little bit farther, up about 2,000 gold at the moment.
Yeah, Ocean Drake perhaps one of the best dragons in the early game, helps laning phase so much, and that's going to be great for these lanes that are already winning for this side of Omega Neuroshock right now. You have the Jace already up 17 CS, you have the Varus up 9 CS, and now a kill, and their lane is just going to be even stronger now with the power of the Ocean Drake.
You know, and you give the team fighting this game over to Omega in a heartbeat. You have the Kennen, you have the Sejuani, the Varus is there as well for fantastic damage coming in that later game. For the side of White Lotus, you have such a split push presence that you need your teammates to survive this early game. You need to be able to live just a little bit longer. Curio's sitting on a ward there, but not going to matter too much as Jarvan's going to spot him out, connecting with that QE, a little bit extra damage down, but the Flag and Drag going to take him away from that. Actually, still chasing him down. Lissandra is collapsing. Flash is available for Evil Dragful, but he knows he can't win that fight and backs away.
Yeah, the fight's still going on.
Oh, yeah, it is. Neems with a nice ultimate to dodge away from that glacial prison. And gonna stay alive. Kyrios hovering around, has the Cataclysm, might look... Damage is quite low, though, from the side of White Lotus, and gonna opt not to take it.
Yeah, lots of action going in there. No one ends up going down, but ultimate's blown there. You saw both the Glacial Prison and the Frozen used. The Frozen Tomb was just used to dodge Glacial Prison, but great heads up play there from Neebs, you know, seeing the ultimate coming out from Sejuani and reacting accordingly. But now that is going to allow...
Chain of Corruption connects. Soul Shackle's there as well. Monsoon. So if Tokyo's going to have the damage, he is not. Poppy, flash forward, looking for that W reset. Goes golden for a second. One more auto tech to finish him off. Oh, no, it's not enough. Q there, gonna finally find that kill. It's a 1-for-1 down in the bottom side.
Yeah, great return. Tokyo, after having the loss of the Janna earlier, gets
Need to
the
be
kill
careful.
right
There's
back.
the re-engage. Whiplash going low. Cataclysm there as well. Not able to find the damage as fresh. The Q is just being blocked away by Jay, and Freshburger isn't able to find this kill. He might be the next to go down. Indeed, he is. One more auto attack. Oh no, he actually flashes away. No, Whiplash finds the flash on in, and now 6-1 advantage for Omega.
Yeah, just action happening across the map right now. You're seeing these teams are playing really aggressive, trying to push the lead as much as they can. And I'd say right now it's going in favor of Omega Neuroshock. They're getting the early kills. They're up 6-1 and have a 3.5k gold lead already in just the 12-minute mark.
I mean, even now, you look at Neebs. He tries to look for that re-engage. He had the actually over Evil Dragful, but he's so far ahead already. He's got that Yomu's. He has the Null Magic Mantle, and he's able to just tank up that damage, trade some back, and find himself a reset.
And actually, I love this buy coming in from the Jace already. He picked up the early Quicksilver Sash, knows that he's likely to get jumped on by perhaps a Rise Rune Prison or the Frozen Tomb from Lissandra. Now has the ability to get out of that, as well as just picking up the MR will help him just against the damage coming from those two champs in the early lane.
And back down in the bottom lane, if you look at kind of just how this lane has been going, Holly Poppy has been looking for those engages every time he has that Chain of Corruption up, and that is exactly how you want to play that lane. You can't look it on the Tokyo, obviously, with that spell shield, but he's been able to catch Flame Bros out multiple times now, and he's gonna look to do it again, and you can see that Q even, the damage coming through.
Yeah, lots of damage already. Janna, not very tanky champion, is going to take a lot of damage. You have to play a bit safe, and Habibi Poppy really doing a great job of landing those skill shots, both the Piercing Arrow and the Chain of Corruption. Getting so much work done in this early game for them.
I mean, even then, you look at all the lanes so far. Omega, they have just been dominating, completely shoved in with complete lane priority and getting those plates. Plates do drop now, though, 14 minutes in. They will go down, but a lot of extra gold gained so far. And now the side of Omega, it might be looking to 4-man bottom. They have Jace hovering around as well as that Sejuani. Gonna opt not to look for it and maybe look mid lane instead. QE connects. There goes the Claw. Able to walk away from that one safely, but just barely.
Yeah, that's been something that we've seen a lot of this game, is the Jace pushing in the lane and getting the priority to roam.
There's the on the hunt. Hobby Poppy's on the run. Look at the mid lane though. Gonna get that Frozen Tomb for a second, trying to flash away, trying to stay alive. He will for the time being, and able to back away from that one. He's alive, but might lose his tower for it.
Yeah, so both junglers targeting different lanes here, but no deaths just yet, but it's like
Neebs
he
goes
is going
gold.
to go down.
Dragful. One more tower shot. He actually gets a 1-for-1 trying to QSS. Nope, he gets executed actually. Wow.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario there for the Jays. Sure, he ends up going down, but the kill doesn't go over to Neebs, so net gold is very much in favor of Omega Neuroshock coming from that play.
And Tokyo kind of almost making a huge mistake there, walks into the Dark Binding to get that spell shoot off, but Hobby Poppy...
Looks like they're setting up a dive.
As well as that flash. A dive is being set up. Sejuani hovering around, doesn't have that Glacial Tomb. Soul Shackles and Chain of Corruption still available. They don't know he's here just yet, but they do know now. Has walked over that ward. He's looked the ultimate. Chain of Corruption connects. So does the Dark Binding. You have nowhere to go, my friend. Tokyo, you are the person to go down. Soul Shackles gonna get popped on out as well. Takes a tower shot and ignite, but not gonna matter. And Omega secures another kill in the bottom lane.
Yeah, again, you talked about earlier the Chains of Corruption Habibi Poppy's looking for onto these targets here. Use it onto the Sivir. It doesn't get the spell shield off in time, so it ends up going down.
And just kind of a big mistake there from Tokyo. You know, he has that spell shield up, and even then, you know, using it on the Dark Binding, using something so innate that you could have dodged very easily, it's just biting him one after another. And here you have Karios trying to solo this Rift Herald. Evil Dragfold might have sniffed it out, though. No, I think he's just going to go back to his lane.
Not quite seeing it right now. Does get a ward over, and there's Empower Shock Blast. He knows it's happening now, and Kennen is right there on the flank.
Slicing Maelstrom's available. He's looking for it. It's going to come out. Karios going to be the first one to go down. Cataclysm. Freshbreaker, he is blocked on up, and he goes down as well. And 2 more kills over to Omega, and they're going to turn over to the Rift Herald.
Yeah, 2 for O. You have 4 members on top side. That is definitely going to be the Rift Herald going down in favor of Omega Neuroshock. And again, they have a low turret on the top lane. They have a no turret in the mid lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see them take this, use it right in the top lane just now to get the turret down already. The top laner isn't there to even react to it.
And this game has just been so lopsided so far. And, you know, you look at the record. Omega currently 0-1, White Lotus 1-0. Granted, it doesn't matter too much, of course, in this early in the season, but this game is just not expecting the way you would have thought it would. 3 bans being taken away from Omega in that champion select, and they're still dominating this one.
Yeah, you saw the early priority from White Lotus going towards the AD carry, getting the Sivir in the early game. But so far, it hasn't really happened that much. They haven't been able to play to the Sivir. It's been the side of Omega and Neuroshock getting the early Jace pick, getting the early Sejuani pick. That has been what they've been playing around so far.
It is important to note, though, on the rise, he's still about even with Whiplash in that CS numbers. Not up in gold, of course, 0, 3 to 4, and 0 has a little bit of extra, and the bounty, of course, on Whiplash. But at the same time, still been able to CS and needs to just wait to get a little bit stronger. Oh no, Tokyo might have walked up a bit too far. He's taking a lot of extra damage. About to go down. One more auto attack finishes him off. Monsoon there. So is the Chain of Corruption. And a double kill over to Hobby Poppy. He's looking for more. Once Karios, but Evil Dragfold's not going to be able to find that one. But 2 kills down in the bottom lane, and that should be tower. Here comes Shaw.
Yeah, now Rift Herald coming in. That is for sure going to be tower. But Mega Neuroshock getting so much off of that play. You saw, again, the Chains of Corruption catching on right there. The Glacial Prison coming from Sejuani to get the kill on the Flame Bros as well. And just great play coming in from the jungle, the bot lane of Mega Neuroshocker now. And even the Jace looking to roam as well.
Dark Binding connects there on Akarios. He takes a Q, but not enough damage to kill him just yet. There comes the Dark Binding though. Oh, look at the ultimate coming. Gets one. Hobby Poppy trying to trade back. Freshburger's the backside. Double TP coming in. 1 kill already. Back to the rise. Freshburger there. There's the slicing Maelstrom. Gonna be finishing up everyone. Neebs and Flame Bros gotta run away, and they might lose a tower in the process.
Man, you saw that play was proactive from the side of White Lotus, so Lissandra had the flank. They were looking to punish the overstay coming in from Omega Neuroshock, but the global pressure coming in from the double TP allowed them to win that fight. So smart from Omega Neuroshock holding on to those summoner spells for that situation.
And that's the first time they've blown those teleports all game, or in that fashion anyways. And being able to kind of execute perfectly like that continues to let you snowball more and more. We're nearing that 20-minute point. Baron will be spawning soon, and they're at almost 10,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, 8.5k gold before 20 minutes is huge. It's almost insurmountable. You see, the White Lotus is supposed to have the side lane pressure. They're supposed to have that split push team comp. They have the Rise and Lissandra, but the Rise is sitting 0-4, and you see these solo lanes from Omega Neuroshock, rather, they're very far ahead already. They have the jungler also very ahead. all three of them having bounties, they're going to be able to impact this map, and especially with the Cloud Drake, are going to be able to roam and have even more proactivity on the map.
And now you can't really send Rise to that side lane. You can't expect him to be that split push pressure and kind of wait to see if he can eventually beat Kennen, because this Baron has spawned. Granted, Whiplash is down that teleport at the moment, but there's no vision on him. Great vision from the side of Omega on that bottom side of the map right now. But right now, move your vision towards the Baron. As soon as that Varus picks up that Rage Blade and finishes it, move over to it.
Oh yeah, Sejuani going in almost under the Seer 2 turret.
Oh, Flame Bros so low as well. That Shock Blast connects, looking to kill him with Yolt. Not gonna find it. Tanked up there by Tokyo, and still Janna out of mana completely. Or out of health, excuse me.
And that's going to be a lot of pressure going towards the side of Omega Neuroshock right now. They're going to be able to get even more vision around this Baron. Look, there's not a single ward in the river. There's not a single ward past their own jungle for the side of White Lotus. So White Lotus will have no idea when Omega decides to go for this Baron, or even the Drake. Again, no vision around this area too.
Yeah, and Drake is definitely the next thing on the menu here for Omega. They're going to be heading down, pick up their second, a little bit of extra movement speed for themselves. That does allow White Lotus to move up towards the Baron, get some vision in retreat, but it's just going to be moved over. The side of Omega is going to walk on up, clear all the vision on out, and go back to the same exact play.
Yeah, if the teams were a bit more even, we could have potentially seen a start of the Baron from White Lotus, but they don't have anyone there to really do damage to it to take it down, so it's just going to be a rate of vision for now.
Yeah, Sivir hasn't picked up that second item yet, still sitting on that Zeal, and here is Shard. Infinity Edge is completed, so that is a big bonus. A lot of the times you see maybe an Essence Reaver rush first for a little bit of extra cooldown reduction, but it's not going to be the case this time around. Teleport came out. Not too sure who it was. Oh, it might have been Lysandra. They're looking. You heard me. Daddy is trying to stay alive. Slicing Maelstrom's there. Huge stun. The Monsoon's going to keep him alive. Golden for now. Whiplash should be the next to fall, and this is the turning fight that White Lotus needs. They're still looking for more. Dodging away from that one. There's the tornado. Not going to catch anyone else out. Sejuani still on the run. Cataclysm available. Gonna lock him up. Hobby Poppy still putting damage back down. Kyrios getting low, trying to turn it back around. There's the claw. Gonna get interrupted. Neebs going so low. He goes golden for a second, but look at Sivir. So much damage in the backline. One more auto attack from away. Jay finds that kill instead. Rune Prison connects once again. A double kill for the Sejuani. Tokyo looking for more, but it's not gonna be enough. And this fight is going back and forth, and eventually, I guess it was a huge advantage over to White Lotus.
Yeah, White Lotus being down this much gold means that you'll take any fight where you can get a win like that, and such a good catch from them onto Eat Me Hard Daddy, because seriously, using the Sivir ultimate, the Rise ultimate together in conjunction allowed them to get that catch early on, and then they had the numbers advantage for the rest of the fight. Nobody else from Omega Neuroshock was there ready to react in the early game, or in the early part of that fight rather. So again, it's just going to be a reset of vision around this Baron, but that is a bit of a goal swing in favor of White Lotus following that fight.
I believe they were down about 10,000 at the time of that fight, only about 8,000 now. Doesn't sound like too much, but when you are slowly bleeding and slowly losing the game, that is more than enough to start and slowly swing that pendulum back in your favor. But you still need to be so careful. You need not to make mistakes. And Flame Bros might have made one. Still trying to run away and stay alive. Tornado to keep himself there, but a lot of damage taken.
Yeah, so much damage coming from those double lethality items he has already built for himself. Janna, very squishy target, cannot take more than just one of those right now. That's, again, poking out the support means that there's going to be even less vision coming in from White Lotus towards these objectives. We have the push going from both the mid lane and the top lane in favor of Omega Neuroshock, so they're not going to be able to get priority. White Lotus isn't going to be able to get vision around this Baron.
Slowly moving up that vision line. You can see it, White Lotus with absolutely no vision around that Baron. And the side of Omega is just trying to strangle them with that vision. You can see all in the top side moving up more and more. And they have more than enough vision to turn over and start the Baron. The downside right now is no mountain dragons have actually spawned. So you don't have a little bit of extra damage from that mountain. But your Varus has completed that Rage Blade.
Yeah, access to a Rage Blade, but you're seeing the 4-1 coming in from Mega Neuroshock right now. They're keeping the Jace with the team. The TP just came up on him. but I wouldn't be surprised to see him potentially look towards that bot lane and get a 3-lane push coming in.
And Javi Papi trying to snipe Flame Bros. You just need to back, buddy. Heal up, because you are next to dead and next to useless if you go down, of course. But still, look at the side. They take that mid lane tower. They're most likely going to work towards that top side, rotate on over, and take the top one as well. Little bit of extra gold just getting handed over, and we're back to about a 9,000 gold lead.
Yeah, I really love the way that Evil Dragful has been playing this Jace. He's been finding those empowered shock blasts onto members pretty consistently, forcing Flame Bros back, forcing Tokyo back on this play, and again landing another one. They're getting so much pressure onto the turret just from him landing the empowered shock blast early.
Eat me, Hardy Daddy might have stepped up a little bit too far again. Cataclysm available. He's got to turn onto him. Ultimate. Look at the Cataclysm. Look at the damage coming through. Excuse me. Dragful trying to go back. Staying alive. One kill him by Eat me, Hardy Daddy.
Oh, here's the cannon.
Here comes the cannon. The slicing maelstrom finds one. Looking for Kyrios. Next finds two. And the rest of Omega gonna clean that fight up. And just like that, they're gonna move over towards the middle inhibitor.
Yeah, 3-for-1 fight overall. That's the kind of fight that you needed to see coming in from Omega Neuroshock, and what kind of slipped past them in the most recent one. But here, keeping their carries alive, not getting caught out. Yeet stayed alive for so long during that fight, didn't go down until the very end, and bought enough time for his other members to get there, and they managed to win the fight for themselves, and now they're looking to turn towards that Baron.
Pinging towards the Baron, not too many ultimates available on either side. Important to note that Freshberg Realm Warp is available. It can spot out vision, of course, and it can also move the rest of your team closer to that Baron. No mountains on the map just yet. It's at about 10k, slowly dwindling down. I think the side of White Lotus have finally figured it out, but it might be too little, too late. 5k remaining. The Realm Warp still available, down to 3k. Jaina may be looking for a Q steal. Wouldn't it be the miracle play? No, it won't. They pick up the Baron.
Yeah, that's going to be Baron going over to the side of Omega Neuroshock after winning that last team fight, getting the inhibitor, and now they're going to be able to probably pick up an extra Ocean Drake as well. And defending a Baron buff, sure, White Lotus has enough wave clear to potentially stop a bit of an engage, but you aren't going to be able to survive just an onslaught of Jace powered shock blast. You aren't going to be able to survive the onslaught of the various piercing arrows. There's a lot of poke damage coming in, so you're going to have to see White Lotus back, and likely turrets going down in favor of Omega Neuroshock with this powered Baron buff.
And that is the beauty of this team composition of Omega Neuroshock. They have so much poke, but they also have that engage potential in the Sejuani, in the Kennen. They can still dive you deep and force you out if you're trying to just hinder under that tower and farm. The poke is there. The hard engage is there. And you don't have to worry about, being sustained on, being wave cleared on, because you just have so many opportunities and so much potential to just run the enemy team down.
Yeah, and you see Mega Neuroshock going back to that 4-1 style of play. You have the Kennen in the side lane. He has fully stacked Spellbinder. He's going to be able to do so much damage if anyone tries to do anything to him in that lane, and he's very far ahead of the Rise. There's nothing that he could really do, but
trying to look for the engage here. Kyrios is going deep. Cataclysm comes out. Daddy has shackles as well, but so much damage. Look down on the bottom lane. Whiplash finds a solo kill of his own. Neeb's going low. Teleport coming in as well. Looking over the wall. Evil Dragful finds another. Tokyo still up, but not for much longer, because Evil Dragful finds him. And looking for Flame Bros. You're going to be next. You're the last standing target for White Lotus, and you will be extinguished immediately. Triple kill for Evil Dragful, and that will be game number 1. Over to Omega Neuroshock Gaming.
yeah, super clean game coming out from the side of Omega Neuroshock here. Not dropping a single turret, getting every single Drake as well, and just playing these fights pretty spectacularly throughout the entire game. So clean win for them. They're going to be looking really good heading into this next game.
Incredibly clean game from them there, and they secure that game one nice and easily. Of course, like you mentioned, no towers actually to fall, and only one tower actually remaining on the map for the side of Omega Neuroshock at the end of that one. Looking for a perfect 11 turret game, but not going to find it that time around. We'll just end it quick and shortly. Take a look at this damage graph real quick from the both sides of this team, and you can see that Jace damage. You can see how much he did going into this later game and how much Poe was able to carry.
Yeah, you saw, like I talked about earlier, as they were trying to siege these turrets, the Jace was doing so much damage with his Empowered Shock Blast, creating space for the team to take down the turrets, get map pressure, and ultimately win out fights, win out on getting the Baron, and just ultimately winning the game because of how much pressure just Jace put on the team.
Yep, of course. course, and with so much potential, you still have that cannon, you still have the Varus, and of course the Morgana. You can't forget about, which all have so much pick potential, and it allows for the team to kind of just slowly snowball that game from the early, move it to mid, and then eventually clean out the victory.
Yeah, exactly. And you remember, this game started off with Omega Neuroshock not having their first 3 bans. So heading into game 2, they will have access to those. So I'm curious to see what the adaptability is coming in from heading into the next match.
Yeah, maybe being able to take out some of those priority picks, such as maybe that or that Saber. But of course, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with game number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Upsurge Minor League week number 2. Of course, we've got White Lotus versus Omega wow, I just can't talk today. Omega Neuroshock Gaming, of course, currently up 1-0 over White Lotus. I'm Justin Katz, Fairchild, and with me I have Shane Seal, Harrison, and let's get to game number 2.
Yeah, so game number 2 now, we're getting to see Omega Neuroshock get their bans out in the first 3 bans here. They have the Silas and the Irelia taking off the table, targeting that solo lane pick.
Taking those 2 off, and of course, this time around, Omega will have those 3 early bans, so they're able to take away some picks, and it will be the Irelia and Silas taken away, like you mentioned, Hecarim, Akali on the other sides, and finally taking away that set 1.
Yeah, so some adaptation coming in the last game. And the first 2 bans still out the same White Lotus we saw earlier. It's the Akali, the Aatrox, and now the Hecarim. Or the Hecarim, Akali, and now the Aatrox, rather. And so the same 3 bans they went with from the first game. And then there's a Jace first pick, so not too much changing teams as we're heading into this.
Evil Dragful seems to really like that Jace. You know, we saw him play phenomenally on it last game, and you know, if he's able to keep that up, it's going to be a different story. You have to see what Neebs is going to opt for this time around. Most likely not going to look for that Lysandra, as he kind of just gets shoved in and repeatedly abused. Maybe looking for something to kind of counter that. He's a little bit ahead, but will still be that Sivir pick for Tokyo.
Yeah, so just seeming to really favor these picks, even though White Lotus didn't have it work out with the Sivir last game, picking it again and now pairing it with the new. So curious to see how that's going to work out for side White Lotus here.
Will be that new pick for the counters. That's an interesting little combination with the On the Hunt and that new Snowball as well. So I have to see how that does turn out. And then looking at the other side will be that Varus pick hovered over once again for the side of Hobby Poppy, and it will be locked in.
Alright, so again, same 2 picks coming in from them. But yeah, with the Nunu, not going to be able to have as much access as the J4 from the last game. But curious to see how they're going to be looking to play with that Snowball, with the Absolute Zero. Champion has the strengths, could potentially look to get the early game ganks off as well. But Caston be an interesting pick here. There we go. That's more like it. Because Caston against Jace is such a rough matchup. I would have been shocked if Neebs opted into that matchup rather, and instead picking up the Nautilus. Received huge buffs on so many patches already this year. One of the best champions, I think, in the game at the moment. So really like that pick coming in from White Lotus.
Can flex it, of course, between support and top lane. Most likely we'll see it in that support spot, as it's actually just been such a staple support as of recent. But maybe not as well. You have the Morgana. That Black Shield is devastating to any hook champion, really. Being able to stop practically anything, so most likely not going to be that time, or that this time around, but hopefully, you know, maybe we'll see it in that top spot.
Yeah, Morgana is a great pick against the Nautilus, because what did get buffed from him was the actual CC duration as well as a bit of the damage. Morgana's Black Shield does just nullify almost all of that. So if it is a Nautilus in the support role, not going to see too much priority for the side of White Lotus, and it is going to be slightly in favor of Omega Neuroshock again, I believe.
And final bans will be that Kennen and Jarvan taken away, and then the Rise and Vladimir on the other side. We have to see what they're going to opt for in this second pick phase, of course. And still missing that middle lane and top lane, and that will be the Renekton getting locked in.
All right, Renekton, so very early game priority top lane. He's going to be looking to lane bully, and again, banning out the Kennen, banning out the Rise and the Vladimir. These are all picks that are good into the Renekton, so I'm curious what Whiplash is going to playing, look to counter this Renekton, but I like that pickup coming in Fresh Burger.
And do have to see what the side of Omega is going to counter with, and it will be the Swain lock in, so can flex that between mid and top lane. Maybe you know, put that Jace mid, put him top, wherever you want to throw him, but Evil Dragful might just be super comfortable on that Jace, and I think that's what we might see.
Yeah, we might see that, but again, Jace actually a very good pick as well into the Renekton, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Whiplash taking that one this game, especially with Swain traditionally seen as more of a mid lane pick. But again, last pick here is going to be counter pick for the mid lane coming in from White Lotus, so we'll see what they decide to opt for their last pick.
You have to see the Gragas is there for a little bit of extra engage potential, but a lot of very tanky players here for the side of White Lotus, and maybe not continuing it, but a bit of extra damage with that Victor. And of course, once he hits that late game, he can be nasty.
I'm actually curious if it's going to be. Alright, no, it is going to be the Victor going into the mid lane most likely. Yeah, we have seen some Victor top, especially in pro play over the recent months. So Victor has been a very priority top laner, but I would be shocked to see the Renekton opting into the Jace matchup here. So not seeing that swap just yet, but curious if they're going to do or go for it outside of White Lotus.
Maybe they do send the Victor up top lane versus the Swain, trying to keep that range versus range matchup. But also you still have that Jace Renekton mid lane. So not too sure what's going on here. It's looking a little fishy. But, nothing wrong with a bit of fish.
Of course. No fizz or not me in this game to have even more fish, but I'm liking what we're seeing so far. So it is going to be just playing their Renekton and Fresh Burger on the Victor. So perhaps a lane swap coming from these two players, or just their Renekton mid lane. Curious to see what they end up going for once we do get in the game.
In the spectator delay now, so let's analyze a little bit of these lanes, or at least of what we can, because we don't know, really what's going on with that mid-top lane swap and who's going to end up where. But we can still look at that jungle and still look at that bottom lane. Let's start in the jungle. Gragas up versus the Nunu. How are we feeling about this?
So the Gragas has a bit more access to that damage. You see him go for that jungle item, whereas Nunu is going to be more of that frontline tank, looking to get those early ganks off, his access to the snowball. And I'm not sure if he's going to be going Predator this game. I'd assume so, but if he does go for the Predator, he's not really going to be able to impact the game until he does pick up the boots. So curious to see what these junglers decide to opt for when it comes to rune choices, when it comes to playstyle in the early game. And again, since we don't know about the solo lanes flex, we could talk a bit about the bot lane too. I really like the Morgana. It counters the Nautilus very heavily, because that Black Shield is going to deny almost all of his engage up until he hits 6, because once he hits the 6, he can use that depth charge onto anyone he wants to. He doesn't have to target just the one person. So Morgana is only going to be able to shield one person. It isn't going to be able to protect from whoever Nautilus decides to use that ultimate on.
Yeah, but with that, before we go to a quick break, we've got a little ad read for you. And by ad read, I mean huge shout out to one of our sponsors, Scuttle Scrims. If you're looking for a fast and reliable way to find some scrims for your team, then head over to scuttlescrims.com, visit their website, log in, search for any rank, of course, so you can, all ranks and all skill levels will be used for that. But with that, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll be right back with game number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have Omega versus White Lotus. Omega currently up 1-0 in the series and looking to take game 2. They've got the one and only the Evil Dragful on the Jace once again. You know, we've got to see how he plays up versus the Renekton in the mid laner. You know, maybe if we see that swap with the Victor top.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the mid lane Renekton coming in here. See, the Victor's already sitting near that top turret, so going to have an interesting mid lane matchup here. But again, I'm surprised Evil Dragful got access to the Jace again after how dominant he was with it last game. So perhaps looking to dominate the lane a bit with the Renekton, but Jace used to using these melee top laners, so it's not going to be a challenge for him mid lane, I think.
Yeah, being able to abuse, you know, a melee rather versus a ranged is so much better for the Jace. You're going to be able to deny so much CS and so much extra gold that Neebs wants to make. Looks like we had a quick pause there, but we're back into the game, of course, and continuing this on. Both teams, no invading out of there, and both junglers going to be starting on that bottom side.
Yeah, so both junglers starting in the bot side, perhaps looking to path the same way. And again, it is not the Predator coming out from either of these junglers. They both went with the Aftershock, so we might see some early ganks coming in from two teams.
We'll just see how it works. Of course, it's going to be Victor and Swain up in the top lane, and Jason Renekton down in the middle lane. You really got to see how these lanes work. I'd love to focus on this mid lane and see what Evil Dragful's able to do up versus Neebs. You can see he wants this trade, but you know the Shock Blast is there, the auto attacks are there. He gets those Airy procs as well, just slowly poking out Neebs.
Yeah, Airy's such a strong laning summer spell, especially when you're in a range versus melee. You can proc it so often. Nice, so much CS from the Renekton. It's going to be very difficult for Renekton to try and keep up with the farm compared to the Jace. So curious to see what Neebs is going to do to try and potentially turn the tides in favor of himself in this matchup. But so far, Evil Dragful already established his dominant matchup.
And you can see just how strong it really is. I mean, even though they actually are still about same HP, the corrupting pot advantage is still there for Evil Dragful. He's able to sustain a little bit extra. And a little bit of extra damage per auto attack. Not nearly enough to make too big of a difference. Dredge line there from Flame Bros, but not going to find anything. But looking back at the junglers, both them on that top side and maybe looking for that mid top lane soon.
Oh, an all-in coming here from Evil Dragful on the Jace again. Huge trade in favor of him over the Renekton. So, again, seeing that he's kind of just dominating the matchup. Renekton is having a lot of struggle in the early game, so I'm curious why White Lotus opted for this lane. Could have just swapped Victor in the mid lane instead, but perhaps just waiting to scale a bit and see what they can do in the future.
And you can see the CS lead already, 22 to 9 right now. Such a big lead. Huge wave crashing up in the top side as well.
And Gragas is right here.
Gragas is here, just like you said. Looking for that gank. The flash body slam is available. Victor still trading. Has a decent sized minion wave. Gonna get that stun up, but I don't think he'll be able to survive for much longer. There's the flash. Jay gonna flash on top of him as well, pulling him back. And first blood heading on over to Whiplash.
And I loved the patience there coming from Jay. Waited for the flash to get blown before trying to use the body slam to CC himself. So
Tokyo, you're in trouble. That was kind of painful to watch. Next up is mid lane. Evil Dragful's trying to trade 1-for-1. Flame Bros now might be the next to go down Dredge line and get him away. Q not gonna have enough damage, but man.
Again, seeing action across the map. These two teams are not afraid to just duke it out, but overall, going in favor of Omega Neuroshock right now. Picking up 2 early kills in the game. Trying to help them a lot as this game starts to head out. And you see Nunu and Gragas about to be in their mid lane too.
Now we've got a 2v2 in the mid lane. Knockup connecting onto 2. Jace going low. He's going to be the first to go down. Jay with nowhere to go. He's flashless as well. The next to go down. And White Lotus picks up 2 more kills in the mid lane. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, after seeing the Jace win the lane solo 1v1 early, this is exactly what White Lotus needed to do to try and target that matchup to shut him down. Get their Renekton a couple kills under his belt, start to push the Jace a bit back in the lane. Now, they're having almost even back at gold now with that 2-for-0 in the mid lane. So, play coming from White Lotus, and now that's going to be Nunu trying to sell out the early Drake.
And
oh, never mind. Just walking away. Thought he was going to try to sell it out as soon as it spawned, but not quite doing many Nunu things right now.
Not doing Nunu things, heading back to his own jungle and farming. What a surprise there. Usually looking for those invades, but not going to find it. we talk about kind of the CS lead in the middle lane, 35 to 22 currently, but still a decent sized wave actually going to be crashing in the Dragfall. And you can see pings actually coming out from Kyrios. He wants to look for that repeat gank on the Dragfall.
Yeah, Dracul being down the flash early is that he's going to get heavily targeted. When there's so much CC coming in, they can just layer it, stack it, and it's going to be so hard for him to get out.
Yeah, nowhere to go. Flashing forward is Neebs, following up with a Q and secures himself another kill. And Flashless up a little bit too far, but next is bottom lane. Jay gonna be looking for this one. Body slam available, but no flash for him. Darkbind actually connects onto Nautilus. A little bit of extra damage on the Flash Bros, but not nearly enough for a kill. And they're gonna walk out scot-free.
Yeah, Jay got spotted on a ward before that play even started, so White Lotus knew it was coming and were able to plan accordingly and not even having to blow any sums to get out there.
Yeah, great job by them as well to hold on to those summoner spells, know that they don't have the damage to really look for that kill and exert that kill pressure. But now, looking in the middle lane, they're looking towards this dragon.
Yeah, I see 3 members already got up there. They have the bot lane priority, even have the mid lane priority with how much Nunu has been targeting that lane to get the Renekton ahead. So they can just start up this Drake, and there's not really too much that Omega Neuro squad can really do about it right now.
Trying to start it up, but Ocean Dragon doing a little bit more damage they can handle and backing on off. Sustain and just reset to their lanes, head back to farming. You know, as a bottom laner, you love to do it. Whiplash. Oh, he's going to pop that World Ender looking for the kill. Excuse me, not World Ender, Demon Flare looking for Fresh Burger. He's going low. No flash for him. Might be able to pop it. The shield keep him alive for just a little bit longer.
Oh,
he connects, and he goes down.
Man, landing that claw allowed him to get the kill there. Such good play from knowing the Victor's flash was down.
Heal here in the bottom lane. Hobby Poppy onto Flame Bros next, trying to put a bit of damage down, but Knight tick both sides. Looks like just a huge miscommunication from both of these bottom laners, really. Both of them, I think they actually survive? My goodness.
Yeah, nobody went down that play. I'm surprised that the Habibi Poppy did not try to use that piercing arrow onto the Nautilus to pick up the kill. Perhaps thought he would just go down anyway.
Neebs is gonna, no, he autos a minion! Oh no, Neebs!
Such a close all-in 1v1 right there, but even with the heavy jungle attention that Neebs has received from Kairos in this mid lane, Evil Dragful still getting that 1v1 solo kill, so you gotta love that if you're Omega Neuroshock right now.
To be fair, if Neebs didn't auto-attack the minion, he would have won that one.
Absolutely, he would have won that one, but again, that's a really kill going to Jace again. After being 0-2-0, he's very happy to pick up that solo 1v1 kill, so he's gonna get some extra gold in his pocket and make it a bit harder for Neebs to, win this matchup.
Yeah, still that 20 CS lead that allows for them to get the mid priority and work towards that dragon as well. So a great pickup here for the side of Omega Neuroshock. And still looking to kind of snowball that lead, about a 1.2k lead at the moment. Not as big as they had in the previous game, but still a sizable amount.
Yeah, and as well, the bot lane also having the lead for Omega Neuroshock right now. A BB Poppy up almost 15 CS right now, and that's gonna translate to about 700, 800 gold. He's sitting really pretty on that right now. Already has some lifesteal. Sivir's kind of just stuck on the door on his way to Cole right now.
Flashing forward, Soul Shackles and the Dark Binding all connect. Hobby Poppy to clean that one. Emi Hardy Daddy with a beautiful engage.
Yeah, landed the Dark Binding. Sivir actually used the spell shield on the Soul Shackles there, so did not end up having it for the Dark Binding, but great play from Eat right there. Knew exactly when to go in and target the Sivir and picked up a really seemingly easy kill for himself.
Just like that, another kill over down to the bottom side, and the CS lead slowly mounting higher and higher for Hobby Pop, up about 23 at the moment. It's granted a sizable wave coming into Tokyo, but that wave is coming in. Nautilus not able to hold for any longer.
Yeah, and Omega Neuroshock spot lane has already picked up one turret plate, and they're about to knock down another, so that's a lot of gold going in their favor already, so they gotta be happy about that.
Gotta be happy about that one indeed, but now over in the middle lane, we might have ourselves another 2v2. Gragas working his way down, Kyrios chilling out as well. Engage comes through, Neebs gets the stun, flashing away from that ultimate, or excuse me, not ultimate as well. Evil Dragful tries to flash away, ultimate getting charged on up. Evil Dragful, you have nowhere to go. Jay, I think he might have walked up towards the top side and finished off that Scuttle Crab, and not going to be a part of that fight. Is on another kill over to Neebs.
Yeah, Evil Jackal not respecting that the enemy jungler could have been there. Great job from Kairos getting into that bush without getting spotted out by any vision, but also great bait coming from Neebs, getting pretty low HP and kind of baiting Evil Jackal to go in and use his only escape tool to try and get some damage out. So great play overall from White Lotus again. I like how they're targeting this mid lane after seeing what Evil Jackal did the last game on this stage. They're shutting him down and behind in the early game, and this game is a lot different. He doesn't have that early damage on the turret. He has still full plates up on the lane, on both mid lane turrets actually. So he's not being able to snowball his lead and be able to push in, roam towards other lanes like we saw him do last game.
Dark Biting connecting there. Ultimate on the Hobby Poppy to get that knock up. Coming through as well is the teleport. Neebs finds the stun. Looks like Ferris is going to go down. Teleport coming through as well. That is not a sizable teleport. You want Whiplash. You might be the next to fall. Demon Flare getting popped for a little bit of extra sustain and healing. Trying to trade one to Kyrios, but not enough damage to finish him off. Does have that flash. Needs to be careful. Able to walk away from that one. Jace trading some plates over the top lane. Hold up. Jay might be in trouble here. Trying to use that body slam to escape. But Freshburger trying to chase him down. Not enough to find that one. But down on the bottom side, finally, White Lotus able to get that gold lead back in their favor.
Yeah, and it happened just like I was talking about during Champ Select. Morgana can only black shield one person. Use it on herself there, and Nautilus immediately went to use the depth charge onto Habibi Poppy. And with the TP coming in from the Renekton, there was nothing he could do. He didn't have access to the flash, and he just got insta-killed as soon as Renekton finished that TP. A great play coming in from White Lotus. Now they have themselves a 500 gold lead in this game.
Evil Drag full now with that teleport up. Maybe looking for a cross map play, and that's really what you need to do right now. The Jace is a little bit far behind, and once again, Kyrios looking for another gank and another knock-up. Stun connecting a little bit of extra damage on a drag full, but you can see this pressure that Kyrios is just outputting on the mid lane, and that allows for Neebs to be able to shove that lane in, get priority, and continue to pressure the outer lanes.
Yeah, and even with the TP, double TP on both the solo lanes again this game, you're seeing White Lotus be the ones proactive in this game. Last game, it was Omega Neuroshock who that double TP towards the bot side to get themselves that huge lead, and here we proactivity come out. I'm liking what I see from White Lotus right now.
Liking what I see indeed. And, they're able to turn this around from the previous game, not let Jace get super far ahead, and continue to be that team fighting menace, or not team fighting, but rather poking menace that we saw. Granted, he is still about 15 CS up on his opponent. Not going to matter too much right now, but on the other side, it looks like Jay might be looking for an invade.
Yeah, and we are just seeing the Cloud Drake just spawn in the bot lane. And the bot lane for Omega Neuroshock right now does have priority, and the jungler's already down there, so we might look to see them start this up, especially with Jace just push-shoving in the mid lane as well.
Here he comes. Flash is available for Whiplash. Can look to use it. Demon Flare also available. Going to use that Flash to escape for now. Pulling one back on in. Not enough damage to turn that around for a kill, but that is such a free dragon.
Yeah, seeing the Nunu gank top means that there's no test coming in from White Lotus as Drake going straight over to Omega Neuroshock. And similar to last game, we see them picking up 2 early Drakes. They dropped none last game. This game is looking the exact same. Lots of neutral objective priority, not really looking to snowball their lanes as heavily as last game. It's about playing for those plates, playing for those dragons, and maybe even a potential Rift Herald coming up in the future.
Jay looking for a dive here. Casket to push Tokyo back into the wall. Not going to there. Renekton roaming down as well. Keep your eye on Neebs. You also have Kyrios trying to rejoin the fight, but I don't think anything is going to spawn out of this just yet. We're going to go on back to farming.
See, I like what Jay tried to do there. Execution just barely missed out on it, but look to set up the dive. Use it. Just going to have to wait until that explosive cast comes back off cooldown and try again.
It would have been pretty cool to see the cask directly into a Dark Binding or a Chain of Corruption out of Hobby Poppy. But we're not going to see it that time around. Tokyo a little bit too close to that wall and able to avoid that one. Back in the mid lane, though, might be looking for an engage. Able to use that snowball and the extra move speed to just run away. No casket available for Jay to push him back on in. And side of White Lotus gets out once again.
And seems like the pace game slowed down just a bit. Hasn't been too many kills coming down since the early game, so.
Neebs looking for the re-engage. Flame Bros does have that dredge. Evil looking for it. He flashes away. He's trying to stay alive for now. Ignite traded. Dark Blinding connects onto Curious. Is able to stay alive for now. Pretty tanky Nunu you've got there. Sivir has arrived to the fight. It's going to be a 4v3 if they look for it. They're still on the bottom side, but everybody backing on off.
Yeah, and we still see some pretty big teamfight ultimates not used there. You have the Chains of Corruption on the Varus. You have the On the Hunt from the Sivir. So might look to see these teams potentially force another engage while those sums are, or while those ultimates are still up.
Not gonna find anything yet though. Morgana backing, Varus backing as well, picking up that Blade of the Ruin King as well as 2 extra daggers. Nice little power spike for him if he wants to look for some early engages. That's really when you start to feel pretty strong, pretty powerful as Varus. When you pick up that Blade of the Ruin King and you have the Berserkers, you have so much extra attack speed and so much extra damage built into that E, which I'm assuming he's maxing indeed. But aside here of White Lotus, still not the strongest. Have the Sivir, needs to be careful. He just used Spell Shield. Chain of Corruption's available. Tokyo, you might have just ran it down. Actually able to walk out. Hobby Poppy not going to use that Chain of Corruption. I'm not too sure why, but
maybe looking to not go in with the Nautilus still there, wants to respect the amount of CC coming in. But that was a really good trade, 1v2 coming from Habibi Poppy, and you gotta be kind of worried about that if you're the side of White Lotus right now. Looking at how much priority the Varus has right now, he's still sitting on a bit of a CS lead. They were able to get some turret plays while they were still up. Now, of course, they're down. It's past the 40-minute mark, but that was extra gold going into Habibi's pocket, and Tokyo just does not have that same income right now. Just now barely finishing that Infinity Edge.
picking up that Infinity Edge is big. 3 more stacks on that Cola as well as he's able to cash in with that. But still, not too much going on here. Both junglers working bot side, and Neebs actually gets spotted out on that ward and pinged away. So he's going to go back towards mid lane to catch that wave. Protect his tower for a little bit longer, but Jay just chilling in this bush, waiting for that perfect opportunity. And if he's patient enough, he'll find it.
Oh, there's the spell shield coming from the Sivir. Beautiful one, actually. Stops the knockback coming from the explosive cask.
Darkbind connects onto the Nautilus, able to run away, knock up, tanked by the... Only looking, that's a 2 taunt coming through, Dredge line there as well. Chain of Corruption traded back forth. Jay staying alive for just a little bit longer. Tokyo flashing forward. He finds that kill, but you know who's arrived to the fight? It's the Jace, and he finds a few more kills for himself. Hubby Poppy with a double kill on his own, and just like that, 3 more kills over to White Lotus.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see more of coming from a Mega Neuroshock right there from last game. The TP play, utilizing it effectively and getting themselves a 3-for-1 trade.
Neebs needs to be careful. He might be biting off more than he can chew, teleporting in there. Tower will go down on the bottom side. Neebs knows that. He backs all the way off. Look up in this top side. We're having ourselves a little brawl here. You know, the 2-0 Swain trying to trade onto Burger. Whiplash does have that damage, but not looking for that all-in just yet. Freshburger running pretty low on mana as well.
Yeah, Freshburger definitely outranged this Swain. The Victor has access to the Ray, and it does so much more range than anything that Swain can really do. But when Victor walks in close like this, that's when you have to be careful.
And he is completely out of mana. Freshburger, you cannot trade anything back. Eat me hearty, daddy has arrived. No need to even help. Or maybe the flash away. Flashing forward, though, is Whiplash. Able to finally secure that kill. And solo, pretty much solo kill up the top lane, right?
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, Morgana gets a little tick of the assist column, but that was pretty much all set up and done by Whiplash. Gets the flash blown up from Freshburger as well. Has to commit his own, but that is going to be turret going down as well on top lane. So great play coming in from Whiplash, and Yeet as well coming in just to support his top laner right there.
And great play. Dragon is picked up on the other side of the map, though. Will be
that's actually the first one of the series going over for the side of White Lotus, so that's got to be nice for them to just a little bit of a moral victory. Matching them on the Cloud Drake, going to be able to match these, map rotations potentially, but not the most impactful Drake that you want to see picked up if you're the side of White Lotus right now.
Yeah, we're actually yet to see an Infernal so far this series. No one on either side picking up. None have spawned yet either. I'm not too actually sure what the next one is. But look at this mid lane. Look at all these players are hovering around. You can see a fight brewing.
And there's the explosive cast coming out again.
Flame Bros going low, using that dredge line to diss it. Tokyo extra damage as well, but I feel like these engages from Jay are just a little bit too forced. He has the right idea, but it's on players that still can do stuff. On the hunt gets popped here. Looking for that engage. Chain of Corruption going to push one back. Stun going to go through. Jay Galaxy getting chunked on out. Saber doing some damage on the backside. Kyrios going low. He goes down. Jay flashes away and just barely stays alive. And look at that. White Lotus bites off a little bit more than it could chew.
See, I thought that White Lotus was actually going to have that. You had Neebs coming in with the flank. The on the hunt was perfect. Allowed the team to get in. Flame Bros landed the dredge line, but nothing could happen as soon as Jay got himself out, and the rest of Omega Neuroshock went in, supported their jungler who got engaged upon, and managed to pick themselves up the kill in the fight.
And right like that as well, in the back end of that fight, they pick up another tower, 3-0 right now, and towers, the outers have fallen for the side of White Lotus, and not necessarily getting out macroed, but just losing towers across the map, and that slowly negates that goal lead you have. Yeah,
and we were talking about how earlier Pyros was really focusing that mid lane, trying to get Neebs ahead over Evil Dragflow, but now, based off of roaming towards the bot lane, picking up a couple kills there, getting some kills in the mid lane as well, Evil Dragflow's back to 3-3-0, and he even has a bounty for himself, so he's got to be happy about what's happened since the early game now.
Indeed. And Neebs trying to fight Evil Dragflow, even though he may be this strong, Renekton Jace is still strong in himself, has that yellow moves. Most likely, I'm assuming he's going to be backing for this Duskblade, and indeed he is. Picks that up and works his way back up top side. Neebs takes those Krugs for his own, and Sibber, it's 21 minutes into the game, she finally gets a red buff.
Yeah, there we go. Starting to give the AD carries the red buffs at this point in the game. That's got to feel nice for Tokyo. But Whiplash just sitting in that bot lane, does not have a TP, so cannot help his team if there's an engage coming out. And on the hunt coming back up right now, is that White Lotus might look to force an engage while the Swain can't react.
You need to be careful about that. Freshburger does have that teleport, so he's got the advantage for just a little bit longer. But at the same time, Whiplash does have that split push potential. If you send him down in the bottom lane without that teleport and Freshburger TPs away, there's the chance to take that bottom lane tower, take another tower, and work towards that inhibitor.
Yeah, especially with how much AP this Swain has already picked up. He's going to be doing a lot of damage to these turrets, as well as sitting 3-0 with a 500 gold bounty. He's not going to be able to be matched by anyone in that 1v1 just yet. So they're going to have to send someone else, perhaps, Kairos or Flame Rose, to try and support Freshburger in this lane if they want to try and target Whiplash, maybe pick up that bounty on this.
And other sides of the map, we're kind of just playing a wave clear battle right now as both top and mid get cleared on out, respectively. Nothing too much straying away so far from either side. Jay clearing out some extra wards, and back to the wave clear battle in the mid lane. You've got Sivir, such a strong champion in terms of wave clearing and in general, really.
Yeah, both AD carries here are actually probably two of the best ones when it comes to straight up wave clear, so probably not going to see too much of a heavy engage unless we can see a flank come in one of these sides, because they both have the disengage on their kits. They can get themselves out of these situations and just sit there and wave clear when they want to.
It's worked so far for them. Gold lead still about 4,000 in favor of Omega. They're looking to continue that. Baron, of course, has spawned, and a little bit of extra damage here. You can see Whiplash trading with Freshburger, but not enough damage to kill him just yet. Dragon spawning here shortly as well.
And actually, I want to talk a bit about the itemization coming in from Kairos right here. He picks up the early Spirit Visage as well as the Merc Treads, heavily itemizing that MR, but you have the Jace building lethality. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. So even though Nunu's building these tank stats, it's not really going to matter against these heavy AD damage coming in from both the Varus and the Jace. So Kairos, while maybe being having a lot of HP, isn't going to be that tanky if it comes to a straight up team fight right now.
I mean, you have the Warmogs as well, actually. On Gragas doesn't have enough health just yet to actually make use of that passive. I believe he's about 200 health away, but a little bit useless at the moment. Maybe a few more levels, or maybe another Ruby Crystal, something along those lines to help him out. But, fight over this dragon. Dark Binding connects. A lot of poke damage down on Kyrios. He gets chunked out.
Yeah, like you said, with the Warmogs, it's probably just going to be another level or another item that will allow him to get that regeneration passive coming through, and that's when you'll be able to target these objectives, target the towers.
Here we go. Neebs looking for the hard engage. On the hunt, pop. 3 ultimates coming through. Tokyo looking there. There's Flare. Neebs gets 1. Vengeful looking down on the top side. Gonna matter. Neebs is going insane. He finds another on the bot side. Whiplash goes down as well. White Lotus win this team fight so dominantly. They take 4 players out, and they're gonna be headed over to the Baron.
Man, that was so much work coming in from Tokyo and Neebs in that fight. Neebs just now finishing that Spear of Shojin before the fight meant that he had so much access to all his abilities, and that he, single-handedly kept Habibi Poppy out of the rest of the fight. He couldn't support his carries, and Tokyo was just able to ricochet through the team. Fresh Burger getting that AoE off across everyone meant the White Lotus gets a very clean fight, and now they're going to pick themselves up a Baron at 25 minutes into the game.
Yeah, interesting lift. I believe Hobby Poppy might be able to contest this. He doesn't have the Chain of Corruption right now. Victor's actually rotating over. He might be able to stop that for now. Does spot him out. Dredge line is available for Flame Bros.
TP's coming in too.
2K. TP coming in. Red team does end up securing that dragon. Slow is there. There's the Dark Binding. 2 flashes away from White Lotus. They should be able to escape away for this one. Eat me hearty daddy trying to chase
right
him
there.
down. Swain over him. He does not have that flash. He connects. Finds 2. That's going to be a kill over to Tokyo. Evil Dragful picks that one up. Everyone else should be able to escape. Neebs may be looking for a turn, but just popping that ulti to scare him away. Whiplash does actually connect. Looking for a kill into Wet Fresh Burger. So incredibly low. Not able to find that kill. Neebs trading back and forth. He's using that slice and dice to dash away. It's such a dangerous area for both these teams.
Yeah, so even though White Lotus picks up the Baron there, trades back Tokyo off of, some pretty heavy pressure coming in from the side of Omega Neuroshock right now.
Chain of Corruption there. Casket actually doesn't connect. Neebs getting a little bit extra healing. Dredge line as well as Death Charge being popped there, but Flame Bros with no extra help for Neebs, and he goes down.
Yeah, we're seeing that Chain CC coming in. There's not really much you could do if you're the side of Neebs there, even with Merc Treads. You have Chain of Corruption, Dark Binding, and he's just going to go down during the duration of that. Can't get himself out.
Now on the Hun actually getting popped here from Tokyo. They're going to try and chase down this Varus on the other side. Tokyo popped on out, finds a big stun, not going to matter for now. Varus and Swain both down. Looking for next is J Galaxy. He's being chased on down. Tokyo there as well. Flash is not going to matter. He is the next to go down. Kyrios picks that one up. Eat me hearty daddy as well as Evil Dragful able to escape just barely with their lives.
Yeah. Mega Neuroshock biting off a bit more than they could chew there. Didn't respect that Sivir had just respawned and she still had the on the hunt. So they were able to turn the tides of that team fight very much in their favor. And sure, Omega Neuroshock picked up a turret, but they trade back 3 kills. So White Lotus looking to use that Baron buff in the mid lane now, even utilize CP. Now they're picking up Ocean Drake as well, with just a Nunu soloing it out.
And
or
Mountain
Drake, rather.
Buff as well. Like it's just not going to matter. The waves are coming in. Here comes a middle inhibitor. Should go down. Jay and Whiplash both in another 5 seconds. Looks like the side of White Lotus is actually going to respect that they're coming up. The rest of the side is up as well. And the Baron may be in favor of White Lotus. These teams are still just about that even.
Yeah, you see that gold's still just sitting on 1.5k in favor of White Lotus. That's almost nothing when it comes to 30 minutes almost into the game. So these teams definitely on close to even footing, and you're getting to the point where the Sivir is starting to really pop off in these team fights. She's getting those ricochets are just critting through the whole teams. But you're having their Nekton who's starting to fall off a bit. His damage isn't going to be able to match, the Jace and the Swain when it comes to these team fights. So it's really going to be dependent on execution for both these teams in order to win the fights right here.
And we'll have to see how these execution, of course, happens. It's all about keeping your AD carries alive at this point in the game. If Saber is able to stay alive and output that damage, she'll be able to pop off. But there's Evil Dragful, there's Whiplash, there's a lot of these components that can get right on top of her. But you look at the other side, you keep Hobby Poppy alive, she can pop off. But there's the components, there's Kyrios, there's Neebs, there's Flame Bros, there's all these champions that can get right on top of you if you misposition even slightly.
Yeah, exactly. And now Sivir picking up that 3rd item, now has the Essence Reaver. Varus also completing his 3rd item, the Runon's Hurricane. They're going to be doing so much damage to keep themselves alive in these team fights. So, like you said, it is going to be about keeping these AD carries alive. Going to have to see how the Nunu and the Gragas specifically can peel for their AD carries and allow them to dish out the damage to win themselves fights.
And right now this game is only about a 2,000 gold lead actually in favor of White Lotus. But still, the waves are being shoved out by the side of Omega. They still have this lane priority and moving back over towards this Baron. Of course, not up for another 2 minutes, I believe. Baron actually still on the side of White Lotus for just a little bit longer. Should be dropping sometime soon. But Omega still with priority in all these lanes.
Yeah, Omega not really afraid to push up in these lanes, and they don't have a reason to be. There's no vision at all deep in the map for the side of White Lotus. There's one ward sitting in their red side jungle, but it's just a blue trinket. You can't TP to that. So they don't have to worry about a flank. They don't have to worry about anything. They have all the vision control. They can afford to push up these lanes.
You have Freshburger kind of bullying out Whiplash down in the bottom lane now. Victor's kind of hit that point where he can do a little bit of damage. By a little, I mean a lot. Point where it's going to start to shove in the enemy laner, but he still needs to be careful because Whiplash is still a very, very strong Swain. He gets hooked up by one of those roots, could spell his death.
Yeah, and earlier we saw the same Swain sitting 3-0-0. Sen giving over 2 deaths and picking up only 3 assists for himself. Yeah, that's a lot of favor back inside of Freshburger in this side wave. He's not going to be able to, or Whiplash rather, isn't going to be able to dominate as much as he was early. And now seeing Freshburger kind of just win that 1v1 with the extra range that Victor has.
Yeah, of course. And right now, Sibber picked up that third item as well. It's going to be Essence Reaver completed. Such a big item for the Sibber. And you look at the rest of the team, everyone's kind of hitting those huge items that can just start to pop off a team fight. The Rage Blade, the Borg, as well as Ruins completed for the Varus. He's going to actually opt for that stopwatch as well for a little bit more survivability in these team fights. So that is a big item. And, Black Cleaver completed for Evil Dragful. He's able to shred through some tanks just a little bit stronger. And on the side of Neebs, he's got the completed Titanic Hydra. He's got the Spear of Sojourn. He's got the Black Cleaver. There are so many big items. And actually, as soon as I say that, Freshburger just picked up Lichbane.
Yeah, Lichbane, huge pickup for him in the side. He's going to be able to take down these turrets so fast, and as well as just do that big damage once he can get that Siphon power off on the Q. It's going to be so much damage, so much turret pressure, and it's getting to the point where Whiplash might not even be able to match him in a side wave, because Victor scaling up already has completed an X score too.
Need to be careful here. Chain of Corruption connects, and just like that, a single pixel too far eats a Dark Binding and goes down, and now the side of Omega can turn over to the Baron. They have the advantage. Chain of Corruption and Soul Shackles are down. That's important to note. The side of White Lotus can still pick up this team fight, and they know that. They still don't want to fight. They're going to split the lanes. They're going to split the map, send the rest of their team top side, and the Swain down bottom side. White Lotus knows that.
Huh? Maybe a 4-1 coming out from the side of Omega right now. Getting that pick meant that there's no one to contest Swain in the bot lane. He's going to be able to pick up a turret for free, and now he has TP to see if he utilizes it towards the fight.
On the hunt gets popped, so does the Dredge line. Yeet me hardy daddy, it's very low. Casket's gonna push the way back in. A lot of damage, trying to trade it back. Dark Binding connects onto the Sivir, gonna stay alive for now, but look at this, Neebs is down in that middle lane. He's gonna take the inhibitor once again for the side of White Lotus, and Whiplash, there's nothing you can do about that one. Just Maracton is still so strong. He's able to escape nice and easily. The side of Omega still not winning this fight up in the top side, even with the numbers advantage. I believe it was a 3v4 at the time. Look at Neebs. He's rotating up. Dredgeline connects. Flame Bro's trying to trade away, but look at Neebs in the backside. Flame Bro's going to be the first to go down. Neebs is hard onto this Varus. He is the first to go down. You've got Freshburger in the back as well. Whiplash doing so much damage, but Tokyo is able to trade it back. He has nowhere to go, and White Lotus should be able to pick up this team and pick up this game. We're able to run down mid lane, and just like that, we're going to be heading to game number 3.
Yeah, 4 easy kills going over for the side of White Lotus. Get the picks they needed, got the flank from Neebs in that fight, and took the Varus down to the GA right at the beginning. There wasn't anything that they could do to answer it back in the fight, and now White Lotus evening up the series. Is going to be 1-1 after that just, impeccable game 2 coming in from them. They played towards shutting down Evil Dragful on the Jace in the mid lane, and it ended up paying off for them. So 34 minutes, win going over to White Lotus.
We are heading to game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, between these two teams. Back and forth so far, and especially in this game number 2, we saw it go back and forth, and just like that, White Lotus pick that up after just such a huge and explosive team fight. They were kind of on the retreat. Teams ended up collapsing. Neebs was with a great collapse there, able to get that kill and end up finally able to finish up that game. And just like that, we're heading to game number 3.
Yeah, I really liked that adaptation in playstyle. It wasn't really too much picks that they changed, but they changed how they played the game. They targeted the mid lane, and the bot lane, they changed a bit of the picks. They picked the Nautilus this time, who I think is a bit of a stronger pick, but it ended up working out for them. They played, incredible team fights. They had a big tank frontline so that the Sivir and the Victor could do all the damage they needed to in these fights, and Omega just wasn't able to answer that. They didn't have, the split push pressure this game. They didn't have the solo lanes that far ahead, so they didn't have that to fall back on as the game progressed.
Yep, and with that, go ahead. We're going to take a quick break. Get your popcorn. Get yourself ready for this game number between White Lotus and Omega Neuroshock Gaming. Get that popcorn. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This series is 1-1, and we have had our fight the past two matches. We're going into game number 3 with White Lotus versus Omega Neuroshock Gaming. Once again, I'm your play-by-play Justin Katz Fairchild, and I'm here with the one and only Shane Seal Erickson. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about this game number 3?
At 1-1, each team picking up a game so far, and great adaptation and play coming from White Lotus to pick up that win in the second game, and after a pretty dominant first game from Omega. So really liking what I'm seeing from these two teams here, and here we're seeing some adaptation. The Nunu and Renekton getting banned away from the side of White Lotus. So yeah,
Jace is open.
Jace is open again. Will he play it 3 games in a row? Let's see.
Will Evil Dragful will be ambitious enough to do that? You know, we'll see here in just a second. Sejuani gonna be locked in for Kyrios once again.
I'm curious if we're gonna see the same exact picks from game 1, because right now none of those picks are banned away. Seems like those teams really like those picks, so Wouldn't be surprised to see a Jace Jarvan pick up again. Oh, but here's a Trundle. That's new.
Definitely a new pick there, but actually a very, very good counter into Sejuani, able to steal all those stats away. And great pick up versus Sejuani. But you need to remember, you need to kind of build your team composition around not having the tankiest jungler, about not having the strongest jungler, in the game, because Trundle just simply isn't the best right now. But at the same time, if you're just able to stop that Sejuani, you can get so far ahead. Varus pick once again for Hobby Poppy, 3 out of 3.
Yeah, 3 out of 3 for the Varus on him. And again, talking about how the Varus can steal, or the Trundle can steal away the Sejuani stats, really curious to see how he's going to use it. Because again, if you use it well, the Sejuani has the Aftershock and the passive up, you're going to be taking away so many stats. And I've even seen it, go into negative stats before for the Sejuani, so armor and MR when it comes to that. So, you basically have a negative tank. So Trundle can utilize that ultimate correctly in these fights.
Yeah, Vladimir is going to be a pick, though, for White Lotus. Can, of course, flex that between that mid and top lane spot, as we do expect that. Maybe it'll be on the top side, maybe it'll be mid. Sivir might be picked up here once again for Tokyo.
After seeing the flexes in the first couple of games between these solo lanes, I'm not sure whether it's going to be Sivir mid or something this game. But again, Vladimir, definitely a flexible pick here, and Rise back in the hand of probably Whiplash. He played it in game 1, wouldn't be surprised to pull it out again.
And man, this is a game number 3. Here we go. Rai is going to be that pick once again for Whiplash. Trying to maybe change it up a little bit. That'll be the counter maybe into that Vladimir. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this top lane exists. Of course, you never know with these flexes nowadays, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
Morgana,
Actually,
getting taken away.
Yeah, Morgana and Nautilus, both the supports from last game getting taken away. So I see some new picks coming out from 2 supports. Flame Bros maybe potentially going back to that Janna, but that's the only one not bound out from what they've played so far in the series.
And important to see this last ban here, who it's going to target. And I'm assuming it is going to be towards that support spot, maybe making Eat Me Daddy just a little bit more uncomfortable. And it's going to be the Kennen instead, actually. Maybe taking it away from Whiplash. Maybe thinking Evil Dragful is going to be it. Interesting to note, Jace is still up.
Yeah, they didn't ban the Jace this game. Looks like they like their strategy of just targeting the lane, having the jungle focus down, get Evil Dragful behind on the Jace. So potentially looking to even just give that away again. Had a great answer for it, and might just deter picking it all together.
And it will be the Leona lock-in here. Very interesting pick from Eat Me Hearty that he's going to be off the more what he's been on the past 2 games. And it's actually not bad into Sivir. If she does Spell Shield, either that Luescent Blade or that Solar Flare, you have an opportunity to use some other crowd control spell. You don't get as much time, CC'd, but that Leona is still a very, very strong pick. Interesting to see this Nami here as well, as that is a great target for the side of this Leona Varus lane.
Yeah, Leona loves when Morgana is banned away. White Lotus kind of did themselves in here with banning the Morgana themselves. Leona really having so much access to just go onto the Nami, like you said, great target for her abilities. Even if Sivir does Spell Shield, perhaps a Solar Flare or the Blade, she's still going to have their spells to stun with. So I really like the bot lane coming out from the side of Mega here. They have so much CC, so much lockdown, and it would be a great lane to look for some gank assist. But that's the Silas coming as the last pick on the side of White Lotus. I'm excited about that. I haven't seen that yet today, so curious to see what they're going to do with it. Lots of good ultimate up from the other side as well. And there's the Jace as well. Love seeing Silas turn into Jace for a few abilities when he steals a Jace ultimate.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting little watch, as I'm assuming that will be the Silas mid and side. And important to note, Silas has a plethora of ultimates to steal, and they're all fantastic. You can steal that Trundle ultimate to steal some of that stats, away from the Leona. It's such a tanky champion. You can use the Jace, well, not the Jace ultimate as much. You can use the Rise ultimate. You can use the Varus ultimate. You can use the Leona ultimate. And they're all great engage tools out of this team. And that's kind of not necessarily what White Lotus is lacking, but something that'll enable them just a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to see potentially Realm Warp with putting the Vladimir right in the back line of the team, because he just go untargetable, get all his damage off, and there's not much you can do if you're side of Omega when that happens. But lost happened in the game before we even get to that mark, so curious to see where these teams are going to target comes to their picks here.
You will see it. We are into that quick little spectator lane. A little bit about them before we do go to a quick intermission. And let's start down on the bottom lane. Kind of a very standard ADCs we've seen out of these two so far. I don't believe they've actually changed. I believe both of them were 3 for 3, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, both of them. Tokyo very comfortable on the Sivir, Habibi very comfortable on the Varus. But again, with the Leona, I think they're going to have so much more presence in the bot lane for the side of them. You have to be very careful, even though you have the range support in the matchup with your White Lotus. It's going to be so difficult to avoid all the CC, because once you get hit, you're very squishy on the Nami, very squishy on the Sivir. You're going to go down if Varus can also get himself in there, especially once the level 6s come in, have the Chains of Corruption and the Solar Flare, even more crowd control. It's going to be really dependent on how White Lotus's bot lane plays around the ability.
Yeah, and now that we are 1-1, final game, best of 3 up versus White Lotus. Of course, Omega Neuroshock Gaming. What's your prediction? Who is going to take this one and win all the marbles?
I'm going to say based off of the team comps here, I really like Omega's team comp a bit more. I think, going back to the Ryze that we saw in the game 1, Ryze isn't going to be challenged in lane by the Vladimir. Vladimir much more of a scaling pick, so Ryze will be able to get through that in a week, just a little bit, or actually a lot easier, just being up against the Vladimir, as well as having Evil Dryfoot again on the Jace, probably his most comfortable pick from what we've seen from him so far. And same with Habibi Poppy on the Varus, and having that priority in the bot lane. It's how White Lotus was able to the last game, because they denied that priority from the bot lane that Omega picked up in game 1. But here, the Leona giving them so much access, giving them so much potential to plays in that bot lane. Curious to see if they can actually execute those plays well.
And before we do go to a quick intermission, a huge shout out to another one of our sponsors, Midwest Esports. They've been around for many years. Wichita State University. Since then, Midwest Esports has grown to be a veteran organizer of tournaments and events throughout the United States. They host tournaments for games like League of Legends, Rocket Leagues, as well as Overwatch. For some more information, check them out at midwestesports.com. Before we take this quick break, before intermission, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks. Let's get started in this game number 3. Well, I hope you got your snacks. I hope you got your popcorn, because we are in for a game number 3 here between White Lotus and Omega Neuroshock Gaming. And wow, I'm excited for this one. How about you?
I'm definitely excited for this one. When it comes to those game threes, that's when you usually see teams just give everything they've got. So I know that it's going to be an explosive one coming out from these teams. They've already shown that they're not afraid to fight, that they're not afraid to go for these early skirmishes. So I'd be shocked if these junglers, not have any action in the game before, even those level 3s, level 4s come in.
Yeah, Neeb's actually still keeping it a little lighthearted. You can see him dancing. Evil Dragful gets that first 10 gold of the game and the W start.
Hey, he's already up 1 CS. He's got the advantage. It's
game over.
They got to shut him down again.
They've got to shut him down. He's starting to snowball out of control. You've seen it the past 2 games. First game, he started to snowball out of control. Second game, completely shut down, but still wasn't completely irrelevant. Still did some damage and still was actually able to try and force out some 2v2s. Not successfully, but we'll see if he's able to adjust and do it differently this game, and especially with a bit more of a dueling jungler in that Trundle.
Yeah, the Trundle actually going without a leash on the top side, so a lot different from the starts that we've been seeing. Looks like it might even be the bot lane actually not faking the leash, just going straight towards the bot lane for the side of Omega. So Kairos knows exactly where J Galaxy is starting, but doesn't know that he went without a leash.
Indeed does. And moving over to those Raptor camp snaps, a little bit of extra experience, of course. Oh, well, I'm dying for a second. And back in the bottom lane, this level 2 advantage, if you're able to get it for Omega, is massive. You have the Leona with that engage potential, and you also have a Heavy Poppy with that W and E. That is so much extra damage, and that'll easily force out a summoner spell if they're able to capitalize off.
Yeah, especially this early level 1, perhaps level 2, the perfect time to go in if you're the Leona.
Neebs is going in deep on it. Evil Dragful, or rather, it's the other way around, looking for the engage. Flash away, Curios arrives as well, deters anything else. I actually thought Neebs was going to take an extra tower shot and fall, but stays alive, but flashless now.
Yeah, that's already the Jace kind of asserting his dominance over this mid lane. And again, in the bot lane, like I was saying, is that Leona really wants to look to force in this early first 2 levels, because Sivir not have access to the spell shield usually until that level 3. Again, she leveled up the Ricochet level 2. She does not have spell shield for a whole nother level. This would be the perfect time for Leona to look for an all-in.
And usually a lot of the time, and especially in hard CC lanes, Sivers actually do go for that spell shield level 2, but not going for this time around. Curios is here, does have that flash. He wants to look for it, does find that knockup, but Curios able to get back to his tower. And looking for the stun here is Daddy. The Ignite go down. Happy Poppy actually going quite low. One more auto attack from Tokyo might find that kill, but not nearly enough just yet. And also a little scared for that flash and heal, but healless now is Hobby Poppy. Needs to be a little careful. Does have those potions running for a bit of extra sustain.
Yeah, despite Summon Omega going for that first gank.
There's the stun. Flash is there from Tokyo. He's able to get out. Nothing else from that.
Now Sivir is completely out of mana, but there's the spell shield. That's what you want to see. You're low health, get the spell shield, low mana too, and you get it right all back from that. But again, I was surprised. It was Side of Omega that went for that first engage where you saw Habibi have to blow his flash, and Flame Bros blow both the flash and the ignite trying to kill him. So lots of summoner spells already blown on the spot side. I wouldn't be surprised to see even more jungler attention towards this lane.
Yeah, and it is coming out slowly back into the favor of Omega, and they're able to put a bit of extra damage down. Both Happy Poppy without heal and Tokyo without that flash, so trading those summoner spells for each other. Flash, of course, going to come up just a little bit earlier, so maybe J Galaxy later. J Galaxy might want to look for that repeat gank, wait for that wave to shove on out, but right now it is slowly going into White Lotus.
Yeah, especially as the Trundle, when the bot lane down flash, you can just use the pillar and there's nothing they can do. They can't get out. It's such a huge slow range. Without any access to mobility, you're very easy for Leona to land some CC, very easy for this Varus once he hits level 6 to land the Chains of Corruption. That's when I would be looking to look for that gank once those level 6 is coming for the bot lane.
Right now, Trundle hovering around. Neeb's going to take a bit of extra damage. J Galaxy looks for that, but nothing to be found as he does find safety in his tower.
Oh no, one thing that is already different about this game 3. There's an Infernal Drake as the first one. Didn't even see it in the first 2 games, but it decided to come out for the game 3. You know, the big spectacular right here. Wanted to have the best action we could possibly afford for the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, really can't wait until we have 3 Infernals in the row as well. Just to tease us and just to have a little bit more fun. So Ping's going over to that dragon though. Flame Bros drops that ward and trying to make sure Jay isn't looking for a sneak there, but not enough. And you can see Whiplash completely out of mana here as well. But actually, interesting enough, he's opting for the Corrupting Pots instead of that Sapphire Crystal. So he's going to be a little bit delayed on that tier.
Yeah, again, he needs the full 850 gold for to finish the tier here. He's going to have it with the amount of CS he has, but you know, usually you do see like Sapphire Crystal coming in so that he can kind of accelerate his build a bit more. But valued the extra sustain, wanted a massive Vladimir when it comes to that. So I kind of like that Corrupting Pot coming in from him in this matchup.
Indeed. An Evil Dragful continuing the trade down in the mid lane. Infernal might be started up soon here by Jay. He is HP next to full mana. There is a ward
right
on
now.
it. Needs to be careful. Ping's going over. Side of White Lotus knows.
Yeah, White Lotus's bot lane just finished backing, and the only person in the area right now is the Sejuani. And Silas also waiting in the wings here, but looks like they are going and they're trying to contest.
Smite does actually go on over. No extra damage coming through. Kyrios is able to get out, use that blast cone to get in, but first Infernal picked up by Omega.
Yeah, so Omega picking up that first Infernal, very big on their playmakers. They're going to have so much damage for the Jace, for the Varus, and even the Rai is going to benefit very greatly from this early Infernal. So that's going to really help them as the game goes on. So that's something that they're going to have the advantage of over White Lotus, who doesn't have that bonus stats coming in.
And pretty much just looking for another Infernal is kind of key for these teams, and next dragon will actually be a Cloud, so we don't have the triple Infernal Dream just yet. Neebs, though, a little bit extra age on to the Jace, but not nearly enough to spend us yet, and we're still 0-0. First blood hasn't even happened.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes in the game and no first blood. A lot different than the last games we saw. He seems kind of going for the plays, but not quite finding the early kills like we saw previously, so definitely playing maybe a bit more tempered with the aggression this game, not going full all in, allowing themselves the safety to get out, and not forcing plays where they don't need to.
You know it's game 3. You know everything's on the line. Need to be careful, though. Kyrios is here. I think they figured it out. Ultimate there. Glacier way by Hobby. That's going to be a flashless Varus for the next gank.
Yeah, so gank is successful, blows the flash on the Varus, so actually really like that play coming from Kairos, gets the lane gank, and results in a summer spell blown. So again, repeat gank very likely once that summer spell comes right back up.
Now, almost getting Neebs there. He's able to flash on the other side of the pillar. That pillar had been in front of him. Oh, you already know Evil Dragful would have flashed for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Evil Dragful definitely showing his aggression on the Jace. He's already up 10 CS, and bot lane again, for the side of Omega, has the early CS lead, so not too much to write home about, just 7 CS right now, but you gotta like that if you're the side of Omega again.
Definitely like that indeed, but no, nothing coming out just yet. You have Trundle on this bottom side, but I believe he was spotted out by a ward over that wall. Now you have Sejuani going over the wall. Is spot on and out, and Kyrios doesn't, of course, have that ultimate. Nothing really coming out of these gank.
Oh, there's a TP.
Yeah. TP coming out, so is the Tidal Wave. Trying to wait. It's actually a double TP coming through. Able to steal that Varus ult. Eat Me Hard Daddy's trying to stay alive. Solar Flare for the slow. Barely staying alive. Freshburger trying to finish that one off. Will he be able to? Yes, he secures first blood for himself. Whiplash now on the run. He is incredibly low, but so is Jay Galaxy. Able to turn around. Chain of Corruption. Double kill over to the Vladimir. He's looking for Jay Galaxy next. And that is exactly who's going to be able to find. Tokyo secures that one. And 3 kills over to White Lotus.
Yeah, again, we see the double TP used from White Lotus this game. Themselves 3 early kills. This is before a 10-minute mark, and this is the first time we see these teams really go head-to-head, utilize everything they have, and it just goes right in favor of White Lotus for game 3.
And even now, Jay's just completely caught out. Glacial Prison isn't available just yet, but it's almost up, and he's trying to cut away, trying to stay alive. Kyrios knows it's up. He has his ultimate. He's looking for it. There it comes. The stun connects. Hex Drinker to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Neebs gets caught out. And actually, it's a 1-for-1 mid lane as well.
Yeah, so Jace actually trading back the kill knocks Kairos back under the turret. And overall, that end of that play, 2-for-1 in favor of Omega. But overall, you got to be liking that if you're White Lotus. 4 kills to their name, and that is now a 1.5k gold lead in their favor.
Still need to be careful about these scaling dragons. You have that Infernal, and the enemy team can still, the enemy team, of course, I mean Omega, can still get very, very strong. You have these super late game scaling champions with that Rise and with that Varus. But then again, you look at the other side, there's the Vladimir, there's the Sivir. Those can scale incredibly well as well.
Yeah, Vladimir picking up all the kills in that fight is pretty much exactly where White Lotus wants that gold.
Oh,
They're not going to. Oh my god.
J Galaxy, yeah. I think he ended up catching aggro after ultimate Kyros and greeting for that extra plate, and well, he goes down for it.
Yeah, he caught aggro from the Cinder Hulk, ended up going down because he didn't expect the turret to, auto him here. But yeah, just kind of a lapse in judgment, perhaps quick coming from Jay, but Kairos making the right play right there.
And man, what a rough play. That's a little bit of a tilter, but being able to hop back on and continue the jungle. He's working down towards that bottom side. Dragon spawning here, a little bit less than 30 seconds, I believe, and right now it's going to be all about priority mid and bottom lane. For the top laners without teleport, this might be a true 4v4.
On there, it's a
Flame
solar
Bros
flare.
gets caught out though. Chain corruption as well. It heals for a little bit longer. Tidal wave not even available. Flame Bros goes down. Now it's an uneven fight.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. So much CC coming in the bot lane over Omega, and they're just able to take down Nami, and she can't even react. Doesn't have flash. Doesn't even have the time to tidal wave before it goes down.
And like that, they turn over to the dragon. Not going to be another Inferno. 10 and helping out a little bit of those rotations, of course, between that mid and top side. Top, more or less, won an island this game.
Yeah, we were talking about how the Trundle will be able to impact the game. Mostly going looking at a subject that said Sejuani less tanky, but he's really not much success right now. He's still 0-2 on the Trundle. Haven't yet really found a successful gank, and has so much CC top side with the Rise for his the bot lane with the Chain of Corruption, all of the spells. Really found a successful. The team fights on the back of little Dragful and BB Poppy that really got any kills in the game.
All right, back in the bottom lane, you need to be careful. Side of White Lotus, that bottom lane is still incredibly strong. But now you have Kyrios. He's just going to walk down the lane with you. No cares at all. He has the Glacial Tomb. Both On the Hunt and Tidal Wave are available. They might be able to just take this tower with no cares at all. But there's the ultimate. Tidal Wave traded back. He's going to get knocked up. It's actually a good thing there that Eat Me That Hard Your Daddy wasn't able to get in. Evil Dragful does find that teleport though. Flame Bros chunked out just a little bit more. Tidal Wave, bubble is still available for Flame Bros. Evil Dragful knows that and he backs on off.
Yeah. So no kills straight over at the bottom side of that, but Evil Dragful not having the flash would have likely just flashed right in to try and kill Flame Bros if he did have it, but not having access to Summer Spell means that he's not going to be able to make the play.
This game is just so back and forth between these two teams, and it's been a back and forth series, I guess. Especially game 2. Game 1 was pretty dominating the fourth side of Omega. Quick and easy win, but White Lotus able to turn it around game 2, and they need to keep it up still. Even towers, no towers dropping just yet. 14 minutes has passed, and those plates are gone. Important to note that. And some pings over to Rift Herald from the side of J Galaxy, but I don't think he's going to opt for it just yet.
Yeah, Rift Herald hasn't been too high of priority for these teams early. Not going for them before these turret plays drop, and kind of just waiting until closer to the timing of the Baron spawn to go for it. But you see Sejuani getting some vision over there right now. Is that Shire's boom, but not really going to go for anything over by it.
And Tokyo has hit that point where he can just wave clear so easy. Hold up, Chain of Corruption connects, so is the Tidal Wave. The ultimate, absolutely nothing he can do. And just like that, Tokyo goes down. Flame Bro is going to be the next target. The ultimate coming through. Yeet me, Hardy Daddy, tanking up that tower, and he will be able to survive. Poppy should as well. And double kill over to the Varus.
Great juggling of the turret aggro on that dive. Get themselves 2 clean kills, and now they're going to be able to get some damage returned back on this turret. And without place, that thing might just go down. They also even have a demolish proc ready to go. Oh,
Yep.
but Neeb's teleporting down. Wants to keep that turret alive for the team.
We'll keep that turret alive, and on the top side as well, Kyrgios is able to pick up that Rift Herald. Should be able to anyways, nobody collapsing over just yet. No hint of that Herald being contested, and indeed it'll be picked on up the side of White Lotus. But the rest of the mid lane going to try and get, not necessarily plates, but a little bit of extra damage, but players are collapsing. This is dangerous.
All 5 members of White Lotus collapsing on that mid lane right now.
Ultimate stun, Evil Dragfall is going to try and get away, but not able to. He's going to go down that one more attack, and Fredberger finds that one for himself. Another kill in the middle lane. Gold lane just about dead, even with about a 500 gold in favor of White Lotus, but they're looking to increase that with Shelly.
Yeah, Shelly just going to get that charge right off on this mid lane turret, and that is going to be at least 1 turret going down. The bot lane just now rotating up from Omega to try and counter this.
Yeah, they have the Varus Chain of Corruption not available. Solar Flare is for the importance of that. No one really looking for that engage. Dragon will be spawning here shortly. It's going to be another Cloud, so good pickup for White Lotus if we're able to get that to match that enemy Cloud. Right now, nothing too much, about 1,000 gold lead over to the side of White Lotus. Nothing too big, but still pretty impactful.
Yeah, nothing too big at all. Definitely not insurmountable by any means, but so much of the gold for White Lotus is on that Vladimir. He's been shutting down this Ryze very well in the top lane, getting himself 25, 26 CS lead, as well as, keeping his turret pretty healthy. Hasn't gotten any turret kills back, but still doing pretty well for himself. But for the side of Omega, it's the bot lane that's doing really well this game. Varus sitting 3-0-1 already, working on finishing out against his Rage Blade. He's ahead of the Sivir in that power curve right now, and that's going to mean that's why we see that dragon control in favor of the side of Omega so far this game, is because of that bot lane priority we've seen from Habibi, Poppy, and Yeet Me.
And that's what they really need right now. They need to keep up that priority. Dragon is coming up here. Both teleports available for winners. Let's see if we have a 5v5 or it's a 4v4. Whiplash actually taking a bit of extra damage from Freshburger. He's able to trade it back in, flash away from him. Able to survive. Go most likely back, but he'll have that teleport up.
Yeah, so just a trade of ultimates in the top lane and a flash blown on the side of Whiplash, so good play from him.
Flashing forward. That's an engage on Kyrgios, trying to get that CC locked. He tries to flash away, but nowhere to run. Jake Alex secures that one with his ultimate.
And Jungler going down. Drake's going to be going over to the side of Omega. Smite misses, but it doesn't. That is going to be a second Cloud Drake picked up for them. So again, faster map rotations, faster reactions to plays. That's exactly what you want if you're the side of Omega in this game, where you see double TPs being taken, where you see kind of split push on the Vladimir. That's what you want to deal with.
Exactly. That's exactly what needs to happen. And you look down at the bottom lane, they're trying to orchestrate this die. And this could be huge. Just another tower heading over. Jay Galaxy doesn't even care he's taking tower right now. Finally going to back one off, but a bit of extra damage down to that bottom lane tower. Kyrgios working his way down. Still has that Glacial Tomb available for its note.
Jay just barely dodging out on that flying pizza right at him at the end there to to dodge out on the extra damage. But Sivir Wayfarer means it's going to be very difficult for them to try and take down this bot lane turret. So again, that's why you see both these turrets in the bot lane still alive. So much Wayfarer on both sides, and every single time you've seen a team try to get close and go for that final push on the tower, they get caught out by the Leona, or the Sivir just pops the Ricochet and Boomerang Blade and just takes out the entire wave. So really hard to siege against these two picks.
Though in the mid lane, Evil Dragful was able to pick up middle lane tower, and now once again we might have ourselves another 3v3 down bot side. Kyrgios is spotted out, but he does know Jay Galaxy has him there. Maybe keep on that Glacial Tomb, trying to tank it up. Stun goes onto him, still walking away. Knows it's an uneven fight. It'd be 5v3. Whiplash does have teleport. Glacial Tomb. I think they're just gonna give the Leon away, and indeed this is exactly what's gonna happen. White Lotus now gonna take this bot lane tower.
Yeah, all 5 members being bot side meant there wasn't a chance for Omega to win that fight. Just give over to Leona as a sacrifice, give over the turret, and let the Ryze keep pushing top, let the Jace keep pushing mid.
Back down in the bottom lane, though, able to clear out some extra waves. Still, a lot of players rotating around. Silas and Vladimir have both reset. Glacial Tomb, of course, or Glacial Prison, rather, not available for Curious, so he's not going to look for any engages there. Hobby Poppy's staying back as well, but up this top side, Whiplash was able to get a little bit of extra tower damage, but not nearly enough for that tower in that time. As you know, his wave clear might seem strong, but his tower damage isn't enough.
Evil Dragful, gotta be happy with picking up that enemy blue buff take right there, but not finding as much presence that we saw from that first game where he was hitting these power shock blasts onto members, powering all their sieges. Here, they don't have that same utility coming in. And it's much harder for them to look for these potential turret takes and everything.
Now Neebs is up top side. Whiplash able to get a little bit extra speed to walk out of that, but right now there's 4 players from the side of White Lotus up top, and they're looking to crack that another tower. It'll be the final outer remaining. But Rise has some nice wave clear. Don't know if
Yeah, going for that last remaining outer turret is almost always what you see teams do when they knock down the first 2. So, committing all 5 members means you are seeing, other lanes being focused from the other side of Omega right now. They have the bot lane about to take down a turret, and Jace going towards that mid lane, getting another push.
They know they need to give this. The bubble actually connects. Flame Bros might go down as well. He's so low. Ultimate coming out. Jake Galaxy's able to escape, but look in mid lane. Evil Dragful takes another tower. The teleport has to come out from Neebs to defend the inhibitor tower. Ultimate getting popped up here top lane as well. Jake Galaxy, you've got no Freshburger up, and another tower may be dropping up in the top side. No wave for them just yet, but I don't know if that was a good trade of towers for White Lotus.
Yeah, that was actually a really good map play coming in from Omega, recognizing that there was a push from White Lotus in the top lane. They got 1 turret, but 2, or perhaps it was even 3 turrets actually coming in from Omega across the map. They got 2 in the bot lane and 1 in the mid lane, so that's definitely a trade that you will take for Omega in here. And sure, the Trundle ends up getting traded back, but that's still a swing of gold, and now it's back to dead even 2 minutes into the game.
Now, even though it is back to dead even, if 1 extra tower, and of course those dragons are over to Omega, and Infernal going to be the next one spawning, I believe, in a little less than a minute. You have Whiplash clearing out those waves, trying to get it pushing. Evil Dragful resetting as well. And right now, the side of White Lotus does have priority over the dragon with that vision, and they're going to continue to set it up, though Omega wants to screw it out.
Yeah, White Lotus needs to pick up this second Infernal Drake just to equalize that first Infernal Drake that went over to the side of Omega. But you see the Rise pushing that top lane, looking to take the last remaining outer turret for the side of White Lotus, but he has CP. He can come down here and help, turn on this play once the Infernal Drake comes back.
Flashing over the wall was Neebs, or going over it rather. Daddy go down, and Jay Galaxy might be the next. Whiplash does find that teleport, putting a bit of extra damage down on a Curious, able to get away for now. Chain of Corruption does connect him with Vladimir. He's got those 3 stacks, but no extra damage. Neebs over the wall. Whiplash going low. He goes golden. Tokyo taking some extra damage. Glacial Prison connects onto 1. Being able to flash away is Hobby Poppy. He finds 1 kill as well. Jay Galaxy still trying to chase him down on the other side. Whiplash tanking up a little bit of extra CC. He will be the next to go down. Tokyo finds that, but they're still able to trade back onto the side. Still trying to chase down. Maybe looking for a flash over the wall. He finds the slow down onto Evil Dragful. Still trying to run away, but not enough. You just have an even trade of the team player.
Yeah, overall a 2 for 2 in that long extended team fight, and still Infernal still up. No team has taken it yet, but health bars low, a bit low on both sides, but higher on the side of White Lotus, so they might just look to go for this Drake. But Leona's already back. She has the mobility boost. Now it's a 4-man compared to just the 3 of White Lotus.
She finds the stun onto Freshburger as well. He might be able to go into the pull just a little. Knight is taken down. Oh, the Lesson Blaze connects, and that should be finishing off Freshburger. Indeed, it will be. Ricochet damage, though, from Tokyo. Gonna get everyone else low. Ignite taking down Eat Me Hearty Daddy. But you still need to be careful about heading for this dragon.
Yeah, health bar is now lower on the side of Omega, but Rise back up has the Realm Warp, could look to potentially turn the tides of this fight should White Lotus look to engage.
Dragon getting started up here. That's the ultimate, though. Stats stolen. Eat Me Hearty Daddy goes down. Tokyo gonna be the next.
There's a Realm Warp.
He's able to escape. Realm Warp coming out. He's going to walk out of it. Just a scare tactic for now. Infernal going low, flashing over. It's going to be stolen away by White. And Corruption is there by Happy Poppy. Finally clean that one up. Neebs is the next target. He to go down. But finally, the Infernal goes down, and White Lotus comes out of it with it.
So White Lotus does equalize the Infernal Drake on both sides, but now 2 members down, no jungler. That is going to be a straight turn towards the Baron for the side of Omega. And with no jungler on the other side, they're looking to just take this without any potential contest.
And they have the damage for this. The Varus is Bork and Rageblade completed. You have the Rise there. You have so much extra damage. It's already down to 5k. Freshburger, though, is on
Vladimir
the
full
way.
HP and
He
ult.
needs to be careful. Turn it around. The ultimate comes in. Hobby Poppy running low. 15k on the Baron, or excuse me, 1500. It does get secured, though, by the side of Omega. Whiplash low as well. Freshburger finally finds one onto the Rammus. Flashless is Whiplash, and Freshburger secures that one. 2 more kills, but still 3 Barons remain.
Yeah, so much back and forth happening in the last few minutes. So 3 Baron buffs, like you said, remaining side of Omega. But you're going to be happy with just the trade of 2 back, as well as picking up an Infernal for White Lotus. So, you know, it's still gold slightly in favor of Omega after that play, just 2k now. But with the Baron buff, they're looking to potentially look towards these sieges. And you saw in the first game how strong their sieging was with the Jace. I'm going to be curious if they can keep that up with this game as well.
Glacial Prison there goes on out, gets stuck up under power there as well. Extra damage. Freshburger, the next target, able to use that blast cone to escape. Another kill on over.
Yes, Tokairo's getting a bit caught out by there again. Me landing the skill shots with Leona, landing the Solar Flare, the Zenith Blade, so much damage coming in from just setting up his allies to get these fights and get these picks onto players that normally wouldn't expect to go down. Usually Sejuani is tanky enough to last, but not when you have 4 members, you know, raining all their damage out onto him with an Infernal Drake to boot.
Right there, we need to be careful. Tokyo eats up a Chain of Corruption. He doesn't have that spell showed up just yet. Silas on the right side does steal that ultimate Chain of Corruption, traded back. That's the ultimate going down. Leona down as well. Evil Dragonful eats up a bubble. He's gonna flash away to stay alive. Slow not connecting there from Freshburger. He's able to run away for now. Pebble gets pocked. He's gonna get the engage on the J. Trying to trade some damage back. Neebs goes so low. Goes golden for now to stay alive. Trying to find him with that shot glass. Almost getting it, but not enough yet.
Yeah, even more action, more back and forth. Leona goes back down in this one, but Rise, you know, kind of just sitting on all his lonesome in the top lane. So that was 4v5 that you saw almost an even trade coming out for both teams. So you gotta be happy with that if you're Omega, almost winning a 4v5.
Definitely have to be happy about that, but you know, this game is still so dead even. 46.9 to 40.2, a little over 2,000 differentiating these two teams, but it's not going to matter in these team fights, really. It might matter a little bit with one item, and you know who it's on. 5, 1, and 7 is huge for the side of the White Lotus, as is the Sivir 6, 1, and 5. She isn't on that 3rd item yet. That is such a big power spike.
Yeah, that's the difference we're seeing in this game, is that Sivir once again is so strong. Vladimir is so strong for the side of White Lotus, and that's a dual carry threat. Silas kind of taking more of a backseat, allowing the 2 carries in the top lane and AD carry role to dish out the damage in the team fights. Whereas on the other side, it's the Jace and the Varus. Evil Dragful and Habibi Poppy have so much gold on them. It's going to be on them to really carry these fights, get all their damage out, and stay alive.
Now, Solar Flare was stolen away by Neebs, so Silas does have that option of using the Leona ultimate to look for an engage. You've got Curios there as well as that Tidal Wave. A lot of opportunities for engage on both sides here. Chain of Corruption, of course, from Hobby Poppy. Keep your eye on him. Both these AD carries are going to be huge in this upcoming fight. The Wave Clear is still available. Jay does find that. Ultimate going through. Tidal Solar Flare onto him. Look at Rice. He's going solo. Solar Flare traded back. Me Hardy Daddy's going low. Look at the side of bottom side. Looks going to go low. Leona going to be the first one to go down. And Whiplash trying to get the trade on the Freshburger. He goes low. Tidal Wave is there. Excuse me, Rune Prison. J Galaxy now trading on the Curios. Sokyo trying to do out as much damage as he can. He might have found it. He's trading so much damage. Vengeful going to be next one to go down. Tokyo with a double kill. He's going to hold this team in. Whiplash going to be the next target from Tokyo. And he's going to try and run away. There is the Realm Warp trying to go back into it last second. He actually finds it, but just barely. And he's able to escape.
Yeah, just barely getting out, but great fight for the side of White Lotus. Just a 4 for 2 in favor of them. And that was with the Baron buff on the side of Omega. So gotta be happy about that one. Sivir doing so much work in this team fight, keeping yourself alive for the entire duration, you know, surviving just the onslaught of CC coming out from Omega, and that's going to give them the ability to push down this and potentially look to trade back a turret or two.
Now gonna move over to that Mountain Dragon. Should be able to pick this one pretty cleanly. No one really around to contest. Realm Warp not available for Whiplash. Should use that to escape, and should be a dragon over to them. But
JCPing though, looking for a potential flank here.
Yeah, you have Leona working down teleport as well from Whiplash. He's going to come in. Solar Flare does connect on for lane bows, but nobody near enough just yet. Just like that, Leona gets chunked out. Went in a little bit too early, but may he survive? No, he won't. Eventually going down. That one up, he's going to be pushed away from any potential to escape. Actually able to flash away. Use that Q as well. Neve's going to be the next target. Glacial Prison to push him back. Oh, look at the shock blast. He secures one. Neve's still the next target looking for that Rune Prison. But look at this fight. Tokyo doing so much damage. Hobby Poppy going to go down. Freshburger secures that one. Spell Shield with a great potential. Whiplash going down. Tokyo is going insane. And just like that, White Lotus trade kills back and forth, back and forth. Neves goes golden. Who knows why? But they're able to push out mid lane.
At 4-for-1 with 40-second death timers means this might just be the game if White Lotus tries to end it here. They have the Sivir, they have the Vladimir still up. They might just look to end the game. They have just a few minions left to push this wave.
Pushing down that mid lane, maybe just an inhibitor in 15, Evil Drag in 25, and Whiplash in 20. Definitely think it's just going to be an inhibitor, and White Lotus is going to back on off and set up for this Baron.
Yeah, so inhibitor down means they're going to have so much lane priority in that mid lane. Going to be able to get all this vision down around Baron, and there's not going to be much of a chance for the side of Omega to get their own vision down the area. So White Lotus, if they play this out correctly, are going to have pretty solid access to the Baron. It's going to be on side of Omega to kind of force a play, force a chance to get vision onto this objective.
Yep, Baron is up. There are supers crashing in the middle lane, so to deal with that. Fighting over the Scuttle Crab could be pretty big for whichever side picks it up, and I believe it was White Lotus. Indeed it was. Now looking for the fight. Freshburger might be caught out. Tidal Wave there. Solar Flare as well. Rune Prison to get Freshburger for a little bit longer. Be careful. Hobby Poppy taking damage. Curious on the bottom side. Keep your eyes on him. Doing some extra damage. Keep me hard.
There's a Jace.
Going extremely low. Look at the damage coming through. Hobby Poppy trying to do what he can, but Sivir has so much damage from the ricochet. She might be able to stay alive. Indeed, she does the triple kill to come on through. Whiplash is so low. Looking for the snipe. The ultimate to come through, and he's able to escape. But Tokyo 13-1-9.
Man, Tokyo is coming up so huge in these team fights. There's so much damage coming out from this Sivir. Sitting on nearly full build, 13 kills, like you said, 700 gold bounty. She is making this game all about herself, and she has the opportunity to. So much, front line for her. The side of Omega has to deal with the Vladimir, the Silas, and the Sejuani all on top of them. Sivir's just getting the chance to free hit here. The CC isn't landing onto her, and she's just doing as much damage as she possibly can in the team fights.
And you can see how comfortable Tokyo is on this champion, especially when she's so fed. Nearing that full just yet, but can't imagine she is too much gold away from that one right now. I don't know what you'd really opt for that last item. Maybe another attack speed item, but your attack speed is already pretty high with that W going in the W passive as well. Baron is up though. Sivir's resetting. I don't know if that's the spot you want to.
Yeah, if they're resetting, that might give Omega the chance to just start up this Baron and take it for themselves.
Do start Baron for a second there, but gonna peel on off. Maybe looking for Freshburger. Does come down. Eyes on wall. He goes down. Back flank. Varus goes down. That's no AD carry. Tokyo's doing so much damage. A triple kill. That's a quadra kill. Nope, actually stolen away from Sejuani. The Penta is gone, and White Lotus gets the quadra kill, rather Tokyo, and they win this best of 3 series 2-1.
And in game 3 is Tokyo, who comes up huge with the Sivir. 3 times played this champ, and this is the one where he just leaves it all out on the Rift today. Such good play coming from him. So much utility with the team fights, as well as the Ricochet is just critting through everyone. Nothing that Omega could do, and just beautiful game 3 played out from White Lotus to take the series.
And Omega end up making a huge mistake there at the end. They tunnel so hard below them. When the entire rest of the team is on top of them, they leave their Varus completely unprotected, and he goes down instantly. That allows for that AD carry battle to basically end. And in the end, Tokyo able to come out on top, and I mean, I'm sure if you look at this damage graph, it's going to be him. And indeed it is, nearing that 40k damage. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, Tokyo really coming up huge when his team needed him to, and that is exactly what you want to see when you have such a big hyper carry in the late game. The Ricochet is just hurting through everyone. Nothing they could do to get on top of him, and he was just able to do all the damage, especially like you said, that focus from Omega, try and take down Freshburger on the Vladimir. That hyper focus allowed Tokyo to just unleash havoc on all these team fights, and I'm really impressed with the way he played out Sivir in this last game.
Yeah, well, congratulations to them for, of course, picking up that incredibly intense series, going both ways. And then especially we end the series with a 34-minute game, which felt a lot longer. But in the end, they're able to pick up that victory.
Yeah, ending series for the game going to be 2 games White Lotus, 1 game Omega Neuroshock Gaming, and White Lotus picks up the win in week 2.
Yeah, of course, congratulations to them once again. That'll be it for us here tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at the same time for some more Upsurge action.